Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is that time again. Welcome in. How are we doing? It is a Green and Gold Monday, a Victory Monday, and it is good to be alive after a Packers victory over the Chicago Bears. It just feels good. It makes you feel alive, Charlie Houston. It makes you feel alive.
Does it?
Oh, it does.
I mean, I don't feel hopeless, I guess, as a Bears fan over here. But yeah, I would say Packers fans should feel pretty good about themselves today.
Man, it is a beautiful day. It was a beautiful night last night. I probably took 5 years off of my life, but outside of that, it was beautiful. Had fun. The Green Bay Football post-game show powered by Lakeland University with Tommy Wirtz and myself. That was a lot of fun. Broadcasting from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, just like we're doing here today. Guest-free today. Guest-free. No guests. I know the other shows have had guests all day. We don't have any guests. No guests. Our guests are you. You can be our guests, right? That's what we want. You to be our guest. Part of the family. I'm even a guest, right? We're all family, right? So here we go. Nice, easy question to start things off. Nothing too hard. Nobody's answer is wrong. It's simply opinion, which is what I love about Sports Talk Radio. What surprised you the most about that Packers win yesterday? What surprised you the most in that game? You're like, damn, didn't see that coming. Like that, I didn't see that one coming. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. I'll start. Bears surprised me the most. I mean, to me, that was the most surprising thing of everything that happened in that game was the Bears' ability to keep that a game. The Bears in the second half did not look like they did in the first half. They imposed their will in the second half on that Packers defensive line. That Packers defensive line was in all kinds of trouble as that game was winding down there in the fourth quarter. And as we were sitting here in the studio, I was telling Tom, I said, they scored, they're going to go for two and win this thing. Because they know that the Packers know that their defensive line can't stop Jack. They're having all kinds of problems up front. So when they decided to have Caleb Williams throwing the ball, you're like, goodness gracious, why? Why would you have them? Why? They can't stop you. Like they're just getting pushed backwards. Wayne Larrivee on the call even said it in the, what was it, late third, I think it was? Even said, this is not good. Like the Packers, the line of scrimmage are getting pushed around right now on the defensive line. And it's because they were tired. And the Bears defense, they are tired too in the fourth quarter. Both those defenses were spent. Whoever was going to have the ball last probably was going to win, providing they didn't turn it over, which is exactly what happened. Caleb Williams. I have heard a lot of, man, he's better than I thought he was. I've seen and heard a lot of that. And I've also seen guys like Peter Bukowski like, hey, man, there is a reason why this guy's completion percentage is as bad as it is. And missing guys wide open, just not throwing them the ball. And that also obviously is a problem. But you can now see, looking at that team, that in 2 weeks, this is going to be a problem again for the Packers. The Packers could win again. Not saying they won't. But I'm just saying this isn't the pushover like they have been for the last couple of years. Part of that is, I would give a large part of that, is Ben Johnson as their coach. But on Friday and on Thursday and I think on Wednesday, I'd been saying Packers by 14 because I just didn't think they were going to be able to run 2-to-1 ratio running plays to passing plays. And they weren't able to. It was closer to a 50-50 split. And I said, if that happens, Packers win and maybe win going away. And I thought they had every opportunity to do just that. The issue was even though they couldn't run in the first half, they got that ground game going in the second half. And I think if you look ahead to a couple weeks here, if you're the Green Bay Packers, we cannot allow that second half to be two full halves in a game going forward here from a Packers standpoint. So what surprised you the most in this Packers win yesterday? To me, it was the Bears' performance, man. I thought, they played the Packers tough. They had every opportunity to possibly win that one before Caleb Williams obviously screwed that whole thing up and ended up losing that football game at the end. But even with all of that, I mean, you really still can't even put that game on Caleb Williams to go, he lost the game, because Caleb Williams made enough plays where he kept him in that game. It was just this one.
On the fake. Williams looking, throwing, and it's intercepted! Keyshawn Nixon and the Packers will win it.
There was a lot of celebrating, a lot of swearing going on by me in the studio. Tommy was doing the same thing. I mean, you want to talk about redemption after a couple of boneheaded plays by Keyshawn Nixon earlier in that game, to come back with that interception there to close it, to end it, was amazing. It was so good. It was absolutely perfect of how that game should have ended the way that it did. And thank you to Caleb Williams for throwing that duck out there for Keyshawn Nixon to catch. So to me, that's what surprised me the most, was just how good the Bears really were in this football game. What about you? Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on X, on YouTube, streaming live at WI Sports Radio. Again, X and YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Come be a part of it. Get involved in the dugout chat as well. We'll read those messages as we go throughout the show. And of course, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and all those fun places. Charlie Uzip, you being Chicago Charlie, what surprised you the most in this one?
I think the thing that surprised me the most in this game, for a majority of this football game, the Green Bay Packers, I felt like were leaning on Jordan Love throughout this to be the leader, to be the guy out there that's running this offense, which is something before the season we didn't really expect as often. We expected Josh Jacobs to reprise that role that he had last year and come out and be that workhorse type back. What I was most surprised by was later on in this game, when it mattered the most, they trusted the ball in Josh Jacobs' hands over Jordan Love.
You're talking about this play right here?
I'm talking about this.
The Bears and Rams win. We'll see how it all shakes out. Bears came into today the number one seed. 3rd and 1, Green Bay. Get to the outside. Jacobs. Can he get there? Swing. He breaks through. Josh Jacobs taken down by the 5 by Byard. Oh, what a special run. 30, make it 21 yards.
How did he do that?
It was beautiful. He doesn't have many 20-yard runs this year either. So to bust that out on that play, running through dudes, that was, as Brady said, how did he do that? That was a special play.
I fell to the ground at work, essentially. They had 8 guys around him.
Yes.
3 guys at first, and then 4 guys ran into each other right behind him after that play. It was insane. I don't know how they didn't tackle him in the backfield.
Like Keystone Cops.
But Josh Jacobs, this is what you need from him as you get into this final stretch of the regular season and going into the playoffs, is for him to come out here and still be that player that you saw last season. I think a lot of people have forgotten about Josh Jacobs over the past few weeks because Emmanuel Wilson had that great game in Jacobs' absence. You've had Jordan Love come out here and be this MVP level player over the past couple of weeks, and then throughout this season has gotten more of a role as a leader in this offense. This is a situation where Josh Jacobs and this offense can be probably the most dangerous in the entire NFL if they can consistently run this type of scheme where both sides of the game plan are running as effectively as they did against the Chicago Bears. And honestly, the Packers had opportunities in this game where they could have scored more if they had leaned on the run game a little bit more, which is weird to see them not do that. But at the same time, this is a game where I felt like Matt LaFleur had a game plan and was willing to go down with the ship with it, and it worked out for them.
All right, I want to know from you, Nicolay Law talking text line, what surprised you the most about the Packers win yesterday? 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. It was interesting because you see guys like Brisker talking after the game. Crowd didn't seem all that loud to me this year compared to the last time we were here. Players really weren't talking all that much on the Packers side of things either. And that is why you are not going to get the rivalry the way that you want it. The Bears came in fired up for the rivalry. Did you hear what they said in that broadcast yesterday?
I did.
About the Oh, yeah, because you were working. During the broadcast, they said that when Ben Johnson interviewed with McCaskey, that McCaskey made it a point to let him know that this rivalry is very big and beating the Packers is a very big thing to his family going into this. I promise you, Mark Murphy did not bring up Packer Bears to Matt LaFleur when they were doing that interview and how big of a deal it is to Mark Murphy that Matt LaFleur beats the Bears. It just wasn't there's just no way. But to the McCaskey family, it is still everything and then some. So Johnson runs his mouth at his opening presser. These guys come in. He had them fired up about the rivalry, about what this is. His players been talking and running their mouth. Micah Parsons jumps in at the end of the week. I'm going to knock the nail polish off of Caleb Williams. Gets all the Bears fans all fired up. Oh, man, who are you? You just got here. Why are you running your mouth for? But he was just trying to fit in and kind of be a part of the rivalry, right? I mean, he's been a part of Dallas, Washington, Dallas, Philly. He's been a part of his own rivalries. He knows how this is supposed to work. He didn't get a chance to knock off any nail polish to Caleb Williams, but he got 7 pressures according to Pro Football Focus, 8 according to Next Gen Stats on ESPN. So, I mean, he did his job, even though he didn't get home at the end of the day. But it would definitely felt like one team was there to fight, the Bears, and the other team was there to win. And it seemed like those kind of was how it was playing in that game. And sometimes if you're there to fight, you can win. I'm not saying it worked against the Bears, but it just felt like 2 different mentalities on the football field.
There was a lot of opportunities in this game for the Packers to freak out, and they didn't. Not a single time. In the first drive of the game, Jordan Love throws a pretty bad interception. That could have been in time for Matt LaFleur to freak out and change his whole game plan like we've seen him do in the past. You have all these weird ticky-tack penalties and reviews that are going the way for the Packers, but not in the way that you want them to go. That's a time for the team to freak out, a young team that has gone out here and is still trying to get used to themselves, but they didn't do that. This is the Packers team that I think people have been waiting for all season long, the one that we've seen over the course of the past 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
This is the squad that is running at full steam, and it's without some of your star players still on the field or even on the field that often. This is a team that should be really dangerous moving forward here, and I think going out here, they took care of business against a Bears team that is still trying to prove that themselves, and they need more time to prove that, obviously, and the Packers are just a class above them.
Here's Charlie Hughes and C. Sparky Pfeiffer here after the Packers get the victory 28-21. And what was the magic number? 27. I tell you, this team gets over 27. Outside that Cowboys game, it's not happening. In that first half, when it was a low-scoring game, I was like, this is good. I mean, if you're the Bears, you're thinking, all right, got a chance to win this thing. We keep it low-scoring. Packers are not winning low-scoring games this year. But if this gets into a track meet, then the Bears are going to probably be in some trouble. And that's exactly what happened. I saw a piece earlier today from Tyler Brook, who broke down the Packers and their wide receiving core and so forth. And he is declaring a number 1 wide receiver for the Packers. You know, the question has been going on forever to Matt LaFleur. Hey, do you need a number 1? Hey, do you really need a number 1? Who's your number 1? Do you need a 1? That's all it's been. Well, Tyler Brook, who we've had on this show many a times, great football analyst, declares this dude the number 1 in Green Bay.
Here they line everybody at the line to 1. Love on a play fake. Quick throw. Watson with the speed. Christian Watson in a foot race, and he's going to win it. Touchdown, Green Bay.
That was a great play, right? That quick little slant to Christian Watson. Before the play, Watson points to the DB across from him. Love audibles to the play because I don't think that was going to be to Christian Watson. It was not going to be a quick slant. They audible to the play. Watson catches it in stride and is gone for his second touchdown of the day. I think it is fair to say he is the number 1 right now in this offense. And it's also fair to say Jayden Reed brings a whole different elements of this offense now that he's back.
I think you can just kind of see how much more comfortable not only Jordan Love is with those guys on the field, but Matt LaFleur is too. You feel like he is just so much more confidence in his play calling when Christian Watson is out there. And I think Christian Watson feeds off that. He feeds off that confidence, and it just goes out there and knows if I can get this route that Matt LaFleur has planned up for me, I can take it to the house every time.
Totally agree with you. Let's go to Michelle in Wausau listening to 93.9 The Game. What's up, Michelle?
Hey, this is the surprising part. The bar we were at ran out of Jell-O shots. There was so many touchdowns.
That should be against the law in the state of Wisconsin, Michelle. How does that happen?
Hell, how did they score like they did? Amen. I don't know, but you know what? They're good enough to keep up with the shots. They just did away with the Jello, and we kept scoring and kept winning. So
what do
there
you,
go.
what's the alternative then? If you go from Jello, I mean, you're not going to Jack Daniels from Jello shots. So what kind of shots were you doing after the Jello shots?
They were some kind of green apple pucker because they were doing, green and gold shots.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was the bar packed?
I'm glad they didn't score any more because, it would have been not fun. But it was more packed than I've seen it before. This is an establishment that just reopened, and so I'm very happy for them. They had quite a bit of traffic, and it was really fun because some of their TVs showed the game in one time, and then some of the TVs had it on like a few seconds later. So we got to see all his touchdowns
Twice. That's a great thing. Michelle, thanks for calling. Don't be a stranger.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. There goes Michelle in Wausau listening to 93.9 The Game. She used the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line just like you can, 414-677-1250 on the 414. Musgrave caught that ball. Williams intercepted the ball. Parsons was held 12 times. Change those three things, and it's 35-10.
No matter what Brandon Snide says to me, I don't think Musgrave caught that ball. The other two I agree with. I think that was an Evan Williams interception.
Yes.
I think Micah Parsons throughout the majority of this game was just getting like collar choked.
At the end was horrible on that one play.
Well, and like earlier in the
Williams
game,
rolled right. So every time they showed the replay that you never saw him getting held because the camera was away from him on the replay.
They seemed very good at like hiding camera angles in this game a lot of the times.
Yes.
It felt. But there was a few times earlier in the game where I could argue with some people about the way Micah Parsons was getting played. Like the tight ends would let go of him at the last second so they wouldn't get the hold. But later on, when the Bears offensive line and those tight ends got tired, it was egregious. It was really bad. The fact that they weren't calling these a majority of the game. And I can see why people are frustrated over that and why that would have a big impact on this matchup.
Earlier, if you were listening to the Mason Crosby show with Mitch Thornellis, presented by Verizon, they played a clip back from a guy they had on from the Fan in Dallas back in September. And he goes, so you guys got the screenshots going up yet of Micah Parsons getting held all the time and getting frustrated? And at that point, we really hadn't. He's like, don't worry, it's going to get there because he gets held like every play. I said it last night, Charlie, on the postgame show. Do you know what it's like?
What's that?
It's like Giannis.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to blow a whistle every time he gets hit. I'd have to blow a whistle every play because he gets hit on every play. I can't do it. Micah Parsons gets held on damn near every play because he's so quick. I'm not going to throw a flag on every play. And that's completely unfair to both of those gentlemen.
And by the definition of an NFL hold, I mean, you could probably call a hold on every single play, no matter who's the player, whoever the team is.
That's the crazy part about how the referees can control a game if they want.
It's really kind of frustrating that these rules are as kind of vague as they are, that we don't know what the true definition is or that different players have different rules there. And this was part of Brandon Snyder's argument about the Luke Musgrave play, is that they called it a catch on the field and it felt like the rules were a little kind of shaky about what a catch is, and that's up to the ref's discretion. It can't consistently be up to the ref's discretion, especially in a game like this where there's a lot at stake here.
Let's see. I got another one here from the 414. Sparky, no wonder why there are so many shots. They're seeing things twice.
Probably seeing things 4 times after all the shots.
She's right. That TV. Oh, they scored over here two shots. They scored twice. Hey man, partied up in Wausau. I'm not mad about that at all. Scotty Tiffany texted, Monangai surprised me. Saw him play a great game when Swift was out, but the 1-2 punch of them together is something to watch. I told you before, Monangai is a more talented running back than Swift. I like Swift, don't get me wrong, but I think Monangai is a better back.
I think so too. And I think throughout a majority of this game, you saw the Bears be able to have that kind of aggressive running attack without a really creative run game all that much. They tried it a couple times, like that one DJ Moore play where they had to come around and it just got swallowed up immediately. They didn't really run it outside zone at all. It was all right up the middle, and both those players were having a lot of success, especially in the second half. That's something you got to watch out for in the second game.
Post-game question to Caleb Williams. Caleb, over here, Sparky. Yeah, how you doing? Question. Why do you hate DJ Moore for? Because I think at this point, it's got to be a legitimate question. Because I don't know what the beef is or what it is, but you could not. Both times he threw the ball to him, he got killed. Mm-hmm. I mean, the second time, he was behind the line of scrimmage and he got blown up by Keyshawn Nixon before he even caught the ball, and that's legal, by the way. So that time, but he had him open on that last play. And Charlie and I were going back and forth on whether or not he could have made that throw or not. But either way, it appeared he was open. He was open in other points in the game, too. He just don't throw him the ball. You're paying that man like he's your number one wide receiver. You don't have Odunze in the game, and you still don't throw that dude the ball.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting because it also doesn't feel like Ben Johnson does all that great of a job of putting him into the right positions either. A lot of these
Maybe they both don't like him.
A lot of these play action plays that they run are set up for the tight ends, or set up for like Luther Burden and Olamide Zaccheaus. I don't know if this is something where DJ Moore has alienated himself from the rest of the team, or it's a situation where, just like you said, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson don't really vibe with the way that DJ Moore plays. But the other thing I noticed too is that when you watch Colston Loveland and Caleb Williams play, when you watch Luther Burden and Caleb Williams play, they have a better connection. You just see the way that they follow him across the field, especially a player like that where he's just constantly out of the pocket. DJ Moore doesn't do that. DJ Moore runs his route and just kind of sits a lot of the time. I don't know how you can expect to get the ball if you're not putting yourself in a position to get the ball.
Let's go to the X and YouTube chat at WI Sports Radio as we stream this bad boy live. Tell your friends, tell your family members. Check out the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network each day, Monday through Friday, 6A to 6P. What do we got, Charlie?
Jeff over there says Nixon interception and Melton touchdown were the most surprising.
The Melton touchdown. Dude's got more touchdowns this year than Matthew Golden does. And then the one ball he throws to Golden was a horrible interception that Love had. I don't get it, man. I don't understand. They clearly are vibing and loving on Bo Melton. They are definitely in on Bo Melton the last 2 or 3 weeks. Clearly in on Bo Melton.
I will say I did say he was going to play more wide receiver this season than cornerback, and you were not sold on that.
You're right. I wasn't. I was wrong. You were right. But I don't think either one of us thought he'd be playing as much as he is.
Not this much.
Crazy.
Nick over there also says Parsons not getting holding calls is crazy. It's like Giannis, like you said, Sparky, getting hacked on every drive and not getting the call. Refs say, oh, we don't call it because he plays through it. Micah, same thing.
920 on the Nicolay Law talking text line. I wasn't surprised that the game was close. Wasn't surprised that the game was close at all. They almost beat us twice last year, and they're much better this year. Anybody who watched the Bears-Eagle game should have known it was going to be a close game. If the Packers want to win a playoff game, they better practice their 6-minute offense. Look, if I got a beef, it's the same beef I had a couple of weeks ago. My beef is this. When the opponent runs a 15 or 16 or 17 play drive and your defense is just gassed by the end of it, whether they give up 7, whether they give up 3, whether it's a turnover, a punt, whatever, if that offense is on the field that long with your defense out there, your response in offense should not be 3 straight throws. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of you hate running the football, want Jordan Love to throw it more. If it's me, I go to Jordan Love and go, hey, man, these dudes are gassed. We need a first down, but we also need to run some clock to give them every moment we can to let them try and figure this out. That's how I would run it. I'm running the football a little bit here. We're taking the clock down, and I'm going to try and get a first down for sure, but I'm not taking a chance of 3 straight incompletions and out they go again. And they've done that multiple times this year where you have big drives and you go and give them back to him again. And out comes the defense again to have to play that Bears offense. What happened? The Bears offense goes right back down the field on him again. That's the stuff that frustrates me.
But you know they can run the ball because they do it in this game too. You know that they can slow the pace down because Josh Jacobs is a very talented back who can just control the game.
But that's the other thing. I understand, right? You don't want to be too predictable that you're always going to run behind Anthony Belton. But damn, why would you even quit running behind Anthony Belton at this point? Like Belton on the right side at that guard position and Ryan in the middle. Just keep running right behind those two, man. Right there on that right side. I wouldn't even bother with Banks on the left side at this point. I really wouldn't. I'm more focused on running behind the road grader and Belton and let him take dudes out. Running behind the nasty center and Sean Ryan. Let him take dudes out. By the way, Sean Ryan might be the center of the future on this football team. I mean, I know we all thought he was a guard this whole time, but if Sean Ryan keeps playing the way Sean Ryan's playing, he might be the center next year, not Elton Jenkins. Elton Jenkins, like we've said before, is going to be gone because they're going to save like $20 million or whatever. So Elton Jenkins is going to be hitting the road. This line that you look at right now, take Walker out, put Jordan Morgan in, that's your starting 5, I think, next year.
I think so, but also at the same time, just moving Sean Ryan over again just feels like it could be a disaster waiting to happen. Like Elgton Jenkins kind of was the start of the season here. Not
He's
a
playing
disaster.
center all this year now. He's going to all these snaps going into next year. He's the center. He knows. I think it's a much better situation.
I just feel like if your first pick, in my mind, in the draft this year isn't going to be a cornerback, it should be an interior offensive lineman that you're going to start prepping to be a center. So you have somebody who's just there, who is just ready to play for the future.
That's fair. I think they're going to go offensive line on day 2 because they don't have a day 1 pick. So second or third round, I do think they'll go offensive line. Sparky, Menominee, Michigan, you're next on the Nicolay Law Talking Text line. What's up, Sparky?
Hey, I'm just calling. About a month ago, I talked to you guys, and I was harping on the receivers.
Yep.
How they were dropping the passes when they had that little stretch of bad playing there with the Carolina team. The last couple of weeks, the receivers, I think they're listening to this talk line because they've been catching everything just about, and I think that is a huge difference on how the Packers are went from they did basically a 180 in the last 4 games from dropping balls. So we want to give up on these guys to, oh my God, these guys are playing lights out, and we're like contenders again.
Hey, now listen, I would love to take credit that us being on WNFL in Green Bay 99.7 FM is the reason why these guys are not dropping balls anymore. But Sparky, it's even beyond that. Do you know why they're catching everything now? Toyotathon.
Let me have it.
It's Toyotathon.
Let's hear it.
It's the Toyotathon sale. This is when Jordan Love balls. These receivers know they got to start catching the ball. Sparky, it's Toyotathon, man. That's what it is.
Or is it Christmas time and they know that Jordan's going to hook them up?
No, I think it's Toyotathon. I don't know if Jordan Love's a big spender or not. I can't go that far yet. Thanks for the call, Sparky. Take care.
Well, and the O-line would get the big gifts, not the wide receivers. So
do they ever get anything?
I think they probably
the
get something.
offensive line always gets something.
They always
cool.
get like ATVs or something you see all the time, people posting. That'd be cool.
Do you get Jordan Morgan something?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I think we said that last year too. No,
Yeah.
it was Rasheed Walker we were talking about last year. And we said we should get him a lump of coal.
Yeah,
and I think Jordan Morgan probably gets that too.
I don't know, man. I mean, Jordan's gonna get everybody something. I'm just saying, it's definitely better without Jordan Morgan. I mean, that's not even arguable at this point. This is a better offensive line with the way they have it, which, by the way, is something that we were preaching on this show back in training camp, that Belton should have been playing at guard the whole time. And that wasn't the case. They kept playing him at tackle throughout this whole thing. It took halfway through the season for him to finally move him to guard. Coming up next, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're talking about Jordan Love because there was a rhetoric going around going into this game from announcers on TV, sports talk show radio hosts around the country that was driving me nuts because I think it's wrong. And I think Packer fans sometimes fall into this same trap of saying the same thing about Jordan Love. I want to discuss that straight ahead. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And speaking of Wendy's, in a world of tenders, Wendy's decided to make something more juicy, more crispy, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here. Some may call them tendies, and yes, it's fun to say and even more fun to eat. And Wendy's new chicken tendies come with an insane new sauce lineup. New Wendy's signature. Had that for the first time because Jack Pembroke, Peacock himself, was all over me to have it.
Okay.
So I had it for the first time. I mean, I've had tendies a bunch, but I'm boring. I always get barbecue. I had the new Wendy's signature. It's the only way to go, man. Jack Pembroke was on the
Changed
money.
your life.
It's got a little kick to it, right? But it is good. I don't know what's in it. I don't know if it's peppercorn or what all is in it, but it is so good, man. Anyways, new Wendy's signature sauce, new sweet chili, or new scorching hot, or choose one of the classics: honey barbecue, creamy ranch, or honey mustard. Whatever you choose, they're the perfect vessel to dip all your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable. You'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's.
Matthew Golden checks in. That wide receiver, he's missed the last 3 games. The speedy rookie, Love, loading up, going deep, down the field, has a man, it's caught, touchdown, Bo Melton, and the pack.
Just an absolute mix-up in coverage. It's zone. And here's Melton in the slot. It's kind of a variation of cover 2, but there's nobody on the back half of the field. And that's where Melton gets to. Love feels it. Enough time in the pocket with the pressure for Love to sit on his back foot and drop a dime right before half.
Does anybody else throw off their back foot more than this dude? Does anybody? And with accuracy, consistently, just whoop, fall back, boop, there it is. I mean, again, if you're watching the next, you can see me doing my horrible quarterback impressions, but most quarterbacks step into the throw. Get that front foot down and step into the throw. This cat here, man, off the back foot, falling back, boom, and just like money. Boom, every time, Charlie.
I also feel like we're just seeing across the league in general a lot of young quarterbacks that are just so like naturally gifted that they don't have to have like the right mechanics. Jordan Love doing that. Caleb Williams in this game, there's a couple throws that he's making off of like 1 foot running across. Like, it's insane. Drake May makes some crazy throws all the time. You're seeing it across the league. It's really kind of crazy.
No question. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here, Charlie using over there, other side of the glass, highlight courtesy of Fox. Let's go back to the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. Brian and McGuanago, you're next with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up, Brian?
Hey guys, I'm not sure what you can really do. Recent stuff is really getting out of control. Or these phantom calls come in the last 2 minutes of the game, and they're really starting to control the game. I mean, there was just really 3 really poor calls in that Packer game yesterday. Because if I remember right, and we watched the game up to the fourth quarter so far, it looked like Nixon got hit first.
Yep.
Like the receiver put his hands around his neck.
Yep. And what is the guy supposed to do? Nothing? Just supposed to let him get choked out?
Yeah, that number 1. But number 2, there was that second one on Nixon within just a matter of a couple plays.
Mm-hmm.
That was questionable at best. It seems like the quality of refereeing has gone down with the money they're getting paid these days and the benefits is just buffooning. And the other question I had about this, I mean, the Packers look like they're unstoppable, and they come out of the locker room and it look like they're all wearing slippers. It's like they didn't do anything. And my biggest thing where I think the Packers lacked one of the big things most, obviously they got a very good team, is on 3rd and 2. Love has a tendency to want to chuck it 30, 40 yards downfield.
Yes.
Why can't they drop off in the flat to the running back, to the tight end, and keep the drive going, eat up 2 or 3 more minutes off the clock down the stretch in the fourth quarter?
I hear you. I agree with you, Brian. Thanks for the call. I hear you on the chucking it down on 3rd and 2. I don't mind chucking it on 3rd and 2 if you're in 4-down territory anyhow, right? So if you're at the Bears 45 and you're going for it on 4th and 2, even if you don't get 3rd and 2, and you're going to take your shot, by all means, take your shot. If that's what you're going to do. Now I feel like he's taking a shot a little bit more on 2nd down than he is on 3rd down. At least I feel like has been the tendency. I'll tell you something else that bothers me. And again, they won their first place in the NFC North. We're nitpicking, right? So if you're Jordan Love, you can just turn off the radio. Don't even worry about what I got to say. But this is the thing. Does it feel like to you every time he checks right? Like, I think he checked left once yesterday, unless I'm mistaken. But I think when you start talking about checkdowns, he had checkdowns to the left multiple times open, and he never even turned his head to look. Everything was to the right, or he was eating it and trying to either get sacked or get out of there one way or the other. That to me is another tendency that I saw. And if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not worried as much to the left. Like, he never checks left. If somebody leaks out over there, if he burns us, he burns us. But if you watch tape, I just don't think he ever checks left that much.
Not really left. He doesn't really check in the middle either. You never see like the tight end leak to the middle of the field. Like the Bears do that a lot of the times with Cole Kmet. They like to leave him just right there. They did that with Tucker Kraft a lot and would leave him in the middle of the field, but you don't feel like he's taking that option even if it's there. Yeah, that is something to check on, I guess. But at the same time, if half the time he's throwing it downfield, it doesn't matter which side he's checking it down to. He's not doing it enough to make it a sample size worth looking at.
Correct. I got a text coming in here. Says, yeah, guys, that touchdown to Melton was a fingernail away from being broken up, but beautiful.
If Jaquan Brisker decided to play at all, he could have picked that off pretty easily.
Sounds
But
like a bitter Bears fan to me.
I was so angry, dude. I watched that play, and my friend we were watching on the screen. He's like, oh, they have another go route on the left side. I was like, no, they didn't. He cut inside before that ball was like leaving Jordan Love's hand at that point. So there's no reason for him to still be sitting in the top left corner of the end zone. Come over and cover. And then Jalen Johnson underneath that as well is just jogging behind his wide receiver.
He got hurt in that game too.
Instead of just trying to go after the ball once you see that your wide receiver is not the target anymore. Go find where the ball is. Like it's just lazy.
How about blitzing? How about blitzing Jordan Love? Tell me about your feelings about blitzing Jordan Love. 9 for 12, 3 touchdowns, over 170 yards. Dennis Allen tried to blitz and failed.
The Bears should sign, draft every single defensive end, pass rusher possible that they can. Montez Sweat is okay, but he can't do it on his own. And then second of all, no team ever moving forward here should blitz Jordan Love. There is no reason to. There's no reason. Rush 4, I think he does worse when you rush 4 instead of just bringing 6.
When you make Love have to pick you apart, yes, you have a better chance against that than if you try to outnumber him because he's going to find the hot route or he's going to audible to Christian Watson, cut and cross. And in fairness to Dennis Allen and the Bears, I said this last night in the Green Bay Football postgame show. If you miss it, go back, listen to it wherever you download and listen to your favorite podcast. Tommy Wirtz and myself. They never run quick slants like that. Hardly ever. And if they do, it's like Dobbs in from the slot inside, maybe at the end zone or something. Watson out of the slot on a slant. They don't. There's not much of that on tape, I don't think, at all this year.
What that tells me is that Matt LaFleur has this team and this offense coached up beyond belief, that they are just ready for any kind of situation like that, which is why it's probably better to just rush 4. Just go out there and make Jordan Love have to make a play on his own every time without scheme. And this is something where I think Jordan Love can and has been good enough to do that, but you probably have a higher likelihood of success for your defense when you're forcing him to do that.
There are a lot of moments in this game where I clapped, right? Christian Watson slam, clapping, loving it. Yeah, take it to him, right? Couple of months. Early in the game, Jay Reed got that jet sweep. I said, oh, it's still in the playbook. They didn't burn the jet sweep.
Adam Stenavich last week was talking about, oh, yeah, we had to cut out like a huge chunk, like a third of our plays because of Jaden Reed. I was like, that's insane. Find somebody else to try to do that. You can't cut a third of the playbook.
Melton's Mr. Speedy. Why can't you have him run a damn jet sweep?
Or if Matthew Golden is healthy, I guess.
Yes.
Do that with him. Yes. Savion Williams when he's healthy. Again, both those guys have to be healthy, though.
That's crazy. We're going to get to Jordan Love there. We didn't get to Jordan Love. We'll get to Jordan Love coming up on the other side. And again, to me, there's a narrative and a rhetoric out there being talked about Jordan Love that I think is completely 1,000% false. Not only from national media, not only maybe from even the local media, but also from Packer fans too. And I want to put it to rest so we don't have to continue to talk about this for the rest of the year. That's coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
the play in a 3rd and long for Love. Stands in, zips it, and it's intercepted. Another turnover. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has it. Looking for blocks, and he's inside the 40. What a start for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. 4 tackles and a pick on the first drive.
But it ended with a loss. Highlight courtesy of Fox. Steve Sparky, Fiver, Charlie using over there. Now, if you've listened to me for a long period of time, you know I pretty much never, ever, ever, ever play the opponent highlights. Never. Don't care.
Could be the coolest play on earth.
Coolest play on earth. It's not happening, not on this show. I played that one because it leads into the next topic. Does Jordan Love get a bad rap for being a turnover-prone quarterback? Does he get a bad rap for being a turnover-prone quarterback? That was early in the game, an interception. And immediately everybody's like, oh, here we go, Jordan Love again. Man, that was his 4th interception of the year. Do you realize Orlovsky put this out? Dan Orlovsky from ESPN put this out earlier. He's been sacked 18 times. He's thrown 4 picks. That's as many as his touchdown total of 22.
Insane.
So you can't be
It's
more.
like one of the most efficient quarterbacks ever.
Ever. And I'm listening to pregame shows in the morning, Sunday morning. Well, if Jordan Love doesn't turn over the ball, they're going to have a chance to win this one. These people on TV act like Jordan Love is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, throwing 10, 12, 15 interceptions. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league and not turning the ball over. And yet they talk about it nonstop. Packer fans talk about it nonstop. Local media personalities in the state of Wisconsin talk about it nonstop. At what point do we start giving this dude some credit? At what point, pun intended, do we start giving him some love? And be like, hey, man, I ain't worried about this cat turning the ball over. He don't turn the ball over. Let's go. It shouldn't even be a talking point. But instead, as soon as he throws a pick, and it was ugly. Hey, it was ugly.
It
right?
was a bad one.
It was ugly. I agree. It was ugly. But as soon as he throws it, it's like everybody's expecting him to throw 3 or 4 in a game. Like they think he's Brett. He ain't Brett. He's just not. He's not Aaron, but he ain't Brett.
Do you think any of that has to do with the fact that, and I know they got one late in the game in this one, the fact that the defense isn't turning the ball over as much, so it just stands out more at this point, at least this season, that Jordan Love, when he does have those interceptions, it's just not being counted for on the other side. Because people don't talk about Caleb Williams' interceptions. They talk about his inaccuracy.
Right.
But he's in the same boat as a Jordan Love where he really doesn't throw that many interceptions, but the defense is just doing so much on the other side that it's easy to kind of forget about what's happening on the offensive side.
So I think there's a couple of things here. Those that didn't like Jordan Love when this thing started, right? First half of that first year, he stinks. Cap Rodgers, whatever. Then he gets hot in the second half of the year. Remember what happened? Everybody got quiet. It went quiet. Nothing. And then he makes the ill-advised throw against the Niners in the playoff game. And everybody's all over him. That's the Utah State kid that we saw throw all those interceptions this last year. He's going to be like Brad, blah, blah, blah. And then last year, he gets hurt, whatever, and then he throws a pick in 8 straight games. So again, now the narrative's really going strong, right? He's playing with a bum knee, can't move, can't get out and run, all kinds of problems. So he's trying to make things happen. He's turning it over, and now we really want to label Jordan Love with being the interception thrower. And then after he stops it, then what does he do? He goes super, super, super conservative. He's like, to hell with it. I'm not throwing anything anywhere close to a defender because I don't want to throw another pick because I'm sick of hearing people talking about my interceptions. So he goes that way. Now, this year, he's been healthy pretty much all year, right? He's being aggressive. He can get out and run. This, I think, you tell me if you disagree, is probably the truer version of what Love is going forward.
I think so, especially with Matt LaFleur as his head coach. They seem to have found this nice balance between the two of them. Again, early on in the season, it felt like that Matt LaFleur was just really kind of taking control of everything that was happening on the field. Feels like they found that nice in between where Jordan Love trusts Matt LaFleur to put him into the right positions, and it works out a majority of the time. And Jordan Love, when he is forced to make big throws, more often than not, he is completing those or they're being knocked away. They don't end up in the interceptions this season, at least. It's a situation where I think I'm really confident in Jordan Love, and most Packers fans should be at this point too.
Yeah, just a bad read by me, bad decision. One that I kind of just forced in there, and the ball didn't come out of my hand the way it wanted to, and went straight to him. So it's just something that it's a bad decision, something that obviously it happened, and it's all about overcoming that. And, we put our defense in a tough spot, and they were able to overcome that. And for us, it's just about moving on and playing that next play. But, obviously you want to limit those and not have that situation right there, but just got to keep going.
Tell you, best place to watch all your favorite games, Potawatomi Sportsbook. Monday Night Football tonight. Reserve your seat ahead of time if you'd like. Nominal fee that goes towards your food and beverage costs. Go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. 2,000 square foot screen, 32 games at once. I bet you that UFC fight over the weekend was packed there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook as well. Check out the Potawatomi Sportsbook today. Up next, MVP talk for Jordan Love. Really? Next.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Man, where did that first hour go? Where did my first hour go? We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here, Charlie Usen producing other side of the glass. I want to make sure we say thank you for last week, 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robinson at Blaines Farm and Fleet and Oak Creek, plus everybody that donated online at wisportsradio.com. Toy drive, huge success. So we filled the semi-trailer thanks to our sponsors, Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. And it was awesome. Really do appreciate everybody that was able to come out, help fill that semi-trailer. Means the world to everybody. And again, you're technically never going to see it. I'm technically never going to see that difference that you make when the child unwraps the present or gets the toy in the hospital or whatever the case may be, how they use the toys. And that smile happens and that laughter and all of that, and the relief that the parents feel and just all of that. It's such a huge, huge deal in so many kids' lives that we get to have a big impact on. And I'm so grateful for all the sponsors, all the volunteers that helped the entire time of the week at Blaines Farm and Fleet, which was huge. Next year is 20 years. I cannot wait to see what next year is going to bring for 20 years. And again, 19 years, man, doing it the first full week after Christmas every year, but 2 weeks or 2 years, right? COVID year, we did some goofy 24-hour marathon that sucked. And then the year after that, we still weren't allowed to go out per se to do the toy drive. And we had a bunch of fire stations in southeastern Wisconsin that we set up boxes at that collected toys for us. And we put it up on the website of where you could go. And we did okay that year. I mean, nothing like we obviously have done in the last couple of years being back out at Blaines Farm and Fleet for the week. But very, very cool. I really appreciate everybody being on board for that. And means the world to me. It's my favorite week of the year for sure. You said there's some Pro Bowl voting out there that's coming across, Charlie.
The latest round has come out as of 10 a.m. this morning. You have Sean Ryan, who is now the 4th overall center being voted on right now, 2nd in the NFC. Keyshawn Nixon is the 7th overall player. Your highest vote getter and the only person that is currently in the Pro Bowl as of the voting right now is Micah Parsons.
Oh, Micah Parsons, yeah.
He is 1 of 1 over there and the 4th overall in total Pro Bowl voting from players. Guys like Jordan Love are down there at number 7 in quarterback votes. The
this
third
is
quarterback
the NFC.
in the NFC. No, this is the entire league. He's
league, right?
The third quarterback
because they
the
don't
NFC.
play an actual game. Right?
Yeah, he is behind Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott in the NFC for that voting there. Josh Jacobs is the 8th overall running back and the 5th in the NFC over there as well. So he's just getting beat down. 2 new rivals to the Pro Bowl voting. Aaron Banks goes from unranked to number 8 in the offensive guard section.
Big family.
And wide receiver, Romeo Doubs goes from unranked to number 8 in that section as well.
Okay, Dobbs, I'll say, are Packer fans. Aaron Banks is family. There's no way
Packers fans are voting for him?
No chance. Come on, man. Based on what? What do we vote for Aaron Banks for? Come on. Like, I don't. Again, it's nothing personal necessarily. No chance. Okay, let's talk about Jordan Love. So that's funny to me. So he's 7th.
He is 7th overall if you want to go through that. Drake May is number 1. Matthew Stafford is 2. Josh Allen is 3. Dak Prescott is 4. Patrick Mahomes is still 5.
No way.
Daniel Jones is 6. So Jordan Love will probably jump over him in a little bit.
Daniel Jones done. Colts are done.
Jordan Love is 7th. Caleb Williams, Sam Darnold, and Jared Goff close out the list.
First of all, listen to what you just said.
Uh-huh.
Jared Goff was 3rd in Pro Bowl voting in the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
3rd.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are in danger of missing the playoffs. I mean, the Bears are a 7th seed right now. They could miss the playoffs, depending on how this whole thing ends up. Before this is all said and done, it might just be the NFC North winner. That's it. There might only be one team from the NFC North that gets into the playoffs, y'all.
Which would suck. 9-4 and 8-5 aren't bad records right now, and you're struggling to be in the playoff picture.
10 wins may not get you in.
That's crazy.
10 wins in the NFC may not get you in.
What an awesome year for the NFL, if we're being honest.
Yes.
Just a parity across the league. It's awesome.
Yes, no question. Okay, now Jordan Love, on the other hand, let's focus in on him. So even though people voting are stupid for the Pro Bowl, let's talk about the MVP race. Right now, as it sits, if you look around at MVP race polling and so forth, he's third. I mean, it's Stafford and Drake May at the top. Pick who you want to put one, who you want to put two. And there's Jordan Love sitting there lurking in the third spot. Now, the Patriots were off this week. A bye week in week 14. That also is dumb. Like, why are we having bye weeks in week 14 for? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't get that. That was a strange choice, especially for like a team that I feel like you'd want to see this late in the season. I know they had planned that before,
this good.
but at the same time, I mean, this is a situation where I don't think you want to miss any games at the end of the year. You're seeing a lot of teams play maybe a little better than they are. Some playoff teams playing at the peak that they're at, like watching the Rams beat down yesterday the Cardinals, or watching the Saints come out and win a game late in the season like they did. Like, it's cool to see that type of stuff. Why do we need bye weeks right now?
Yeah, well, I agree. I don't like the bye weeks in general, but you have to do it in order to get the players to play along with 17 games and everything else. I mean, with 16 games, there was a bye week. So they obviously want to make sure they get their health and rest and so forth. What is your Jordan Love MVP case right now compared to Matthew Stafford and Drake May? What's your case of why Jordan Love should be the MVP when you compare him to Stafford and Drake May at this point? Nicolay Law Talker text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. I want to hear from you all over the state. I want to hear from you in Wausau. Michelle called in earlier talking about my bar ran out of Jello shots, man. At 93.9 the game. Duluth Superior, let's go. Let's hear from you today, too, on 710 the game. And, of course, Southeastern Wisconsin and Milwaukee, 1250 AM at 105.7 FM the game. And beautiful Green Bay and Appleton area on WNFL 99.7 FM. Let's hear from everybody. Let's have everybody participating from around the state. Like I said, there's no guests. It's just you and me and Charlie. Let's do this. Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. So my case, if I'm building a case for Jordan Love, number one, he's the best against the blitz. So as far as people coming at him and blitzing him and all that, dude's unmatched. Dude is so good against the blitz. Third down conversion rate, Packers sitting at the top of the NFL there as well. Sorry, but a lot of that has to go back to your quarterback when your ground game hasn't been all that great for a majority of the year. That also has to fall back on the shoulders of Jordan Love. He only has 4 interceptions on the year, folks. That's amongst the best in the National Football League. That is another stat, another feather in the MVP cap for Jordan Love when talking about why he should be in this MVP conversation at this point. Now, where he is going to lose this conversation is going to be win and losses. That's going to hurt Jordan Love in this conversation. True. When looking at that, he doesn't have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and those guys to deal with. So you don't have that either. But third down conversion against the blitz, one of the best touchdown interception ratios in football right now, doing his thing there. There's a lot of things to look at with Jordan Love. I just don't know. Well, I think I do know. I don't think Jordan Love can win MVP unless they're the 1 seed in the NFC. If they're the 1 seed in the NFC, it will be a tight race because right now, Denver's going to be the 1, I think. And there's no MVP candidate over there. You may like Bo Nix, but he's not an MVP. So if Denver's the 1 and the Packers are the 1, I think Jordan Love's going to have a chance to maybe win this thing.
I think so, but when you compare the Denver Broncos to the Green Bay Packers, I would say that skill-wise on offense, they're probably pretty similar, and defensively, they both are just behind amazing defenses. But Jordan Love is over on the Packers offense, commanding that offense. On Denver's side, a team that is the 1 seed, it's not really being commanded by Bo Nix. He's out there doing his job, and he does his job really well. He's very much Drew Brees in this type of system. But at the same time, you have to look at that. And when you're comparing the one season, yeah, he has a big advantage. Jordan Love does. And I think you could say that for a big case in moving forward here against a guy like Matthew Stafford, against a Dak Prescott in Dallas, if he were to play himself back into the conversation here. Those are two guys that are playing with beyond talented offenses and really good head coaches that know what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball too. I mean, they have things that the Packers have some of, but not all of. It's really a situation where Jordan Love is playing the best ball he can with what he's got.
Right now, you look at this, one of the areas where he falls behind is yards, right? As far as throwing yards per game. Matthew Stafford right now is averaging 258 a game. Drake May is third at 262 and a half a game. Jordan Love down a ways, only averaging 232 yards a game. That's going to hurt Jordan Love when you start having that conversation. The other thing that's going to hurt Jordan Love is going to be when we start talking about touchdowns. Drake May's at 23. Jordan Love's at 22. That's good. Drake May 6 picks. Jordan Love 4 picks. That's good. So from that perspective, Jordan Love has the advantage in my mind over Drake May. The problem is Matthew Stafford has 35 touchdowns to 4 picks, y'all. Like, I just don't see how anybody is going to go surpass Matthew Stafford unless this Rams team falls apart down the stretch and loses, 2 of 3 or something like that crazy. Unless that happens, I don't see how Matthew Stafford gets beat at the end of the day. And then if you go to quarterback ratings, Matthew Stafford, number 1, 113.1. Then it's Drake May at a 111.9 quarterback rating. Then Jared Goff is third in the NFL with quarterback rating, 110.2. And then Jordan Love is the 4th best quarterback in the league right now at 110.2. Look at the interception numbers at the top here. Jordan Love, 4. Goff has 5. 6 for May. 4 for Stafford. 2 for Jalen Hurts only. Those are guys that simply aren't turning over the ball very much at all. And Stafford was a guy that turned over the ball aplenty in Detroit.
Do you think that compared to, I guess, Matthew Stafford and the quarterback competition he has in the NFC West and whoever's playing quarterback for San Francisco at any given point, Kyler Murray and whoever else is playing there, Jacoby Brissett, you just don't have the same kind of competition to where you're looking at those stats and saying Jared Goff is out here playing really well statistically. A lot of people, when they're watching the Chicago Bears, not that he's getting MVP love, but Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than what you're seeing in the NFC West against a Matthew Stafford. Is there a world where that can help Jordan Love moving forward here versus hurting him like it kind of seems like it is right now in this discussion?
Yeah, probably. I think to a degree it could probably backfire and hurt on him. But again, I think, and look, I've never had a vote one way or the other for an MVP award. I don't know the criteria of what these guys look at. I know this. They don't watch every single game of every single player they're voting.
Impossible.
There's no way. So a lot of these guys will either do one of a couple of things. Either A, they'll have their own little statistical formula that they use to figure out how they're voting, right? And they'll come up with some idea of quarterback rating, touchdowns, interceptions, completion percentage. Like completion percentage is another one. Let's see here. Completion percentage in the National Football League right now. Drake May, 71% completion percentage. Jared Goff, 70%. Josh Allen, 70%. Dak Prescott, 69%. Sam Darnold, 68. Daniel Jones, 68. And then there's Jordan Love at 67% down there. So that's another one where he falls down a little bit. But Stafford, to that point, is under Love at 66.7% when you start looking at those numbers.
Well, and Jalen Hurts is down there too, yes. A guy that is before the past couple of weeks started getting some of that love. You have good players. It's not always about completion percentage all the time to these voters, as long as you're leading the team downfield and winning big games and big moments. And I think so far we've seen Drake May do that and Matthew Stafford do that. And now we're starting to see Jordan Love get those opportunities to be able to do that. He just hasn't had the opportunities. He played the Eagles. That was the only team that they had played that was still in the playoff picture at this point. Now he's going to get a run of them. This is a good opportunity to show out and take that lead.
I hate to pile on, but I'm gonna pile on here. Of the guys that have started all 13 games to this point, Caleb Williams is the worst quarterback in the National Football League with a completion percentage of 57.8. He's even worse than Cam Ward, who's been horrible this year in Tennessee, even though he did just beat Shedeur Sanders yesterday. 59.1% for him. It's been a struggle, but they're winning.
They're
So
winning football games.
doesn't matter.
Baker Mayfield only has a 61% too in Tampa Bay, and they're winning football games.
Am I a Baker Mayfield guy? No. That would be you all, not this guy here. Trell, north side of Milwaukee. You're next. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. You're next in the Nicolay Talking text line. What's up, Trell?
Hey, what's going on, Sparky?
Smiling again. I like happy, Trell. What's up?
So I think the only way, I think you pretty much hit on it, the only way that Jordan Love could win the MVP would be the Packers have to turn this into an 8-game win streak. No more losses. They probably would fill up the number 1 seed. That happens. Also, in the course of this happening, Matthew Stafford has to lose a couple games and probably have a couple games where he throws a couple interceptions because he's still got a quarter of the season for the most part. I mean, besides the 17th game, the extra game, you got 4 games left, so you got a quarter of a season. That's a big chunk of intel. So if that were to happen and the Packers hold on and they don't lose again this season and they happen to get the 1 seed and Jordan Love throws no more picks the rest of the season and has like 10, 11, 12 touchdowns in this 4-game span, I think he gets a very good look if that happens. Obviously, Drake May it would be between him and Drake May if Stafford does fall off a little bit these last 4 games. I don't know who the New England Patriots play the next 4 games. If there's an opportunity that, Drake May doesn't have the greatest of games or whatever, but I still think if you're looking at Love against May, if Stafford is equalized in a situation, I think Love might get it because I believe that there's probably more tougher teams in the NFC in that picture and teams that have a better chance to win the Super Bowl with the Rams, the Packers, and to some degree the Seahawks than there is the AFC. And
So
that's where I say that with it.
if we look at the Patriots schedule of what they've got left here, Patriots are home against the Bills on Sunday, Patriots at the Ravens, at the Jets, home against the Dolphins.
Oh, that's an easy schedule. Jeez, Drake May he's got a great opportunity because I think Stafford might stumble. Anybody that knows anything about Stafford, he played for Detroit. He used to be a turnover machine with Detroit. So there's an opportunity that he could have the next 4 games, 2 of them where he throws 2 picks apiece. I could easily see that. So with Drake May with that easy schedule, I don't know if they lose to like a Jets or they lose to a Dolphins or something in that span. And maybe they lose to the Bills at home. That would kind of look bad on his record. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of football left, but Jordan Love does have an opportunity. I think he's number 3 right now behind those 2.
Yep.
So he does have an opportunity, legitimately.
He absolutely does. Thanks for the call. Got a text coming in here on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, open for you as well, 414-677-1250. Jagan Dousman says, how about a non-quarterback? Does Christian McCaffrey have a chance? Now, Christian McCaffrey's numbers aren't even close.
It'd be Jonathan Taylor and Jackson Smith and Jigba are the 2 players I'd be looking at.
Right. Jonathan Taylor, 1,356 yards, 16 rushing touchdowns on the year, or 16 touchdowns on the year for him, which is really, really good, obviously. Other guys with Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,062 yards, 13 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 1,025 yards, 10 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs has 12 touchdowns, but only 817 yards. James Cook has 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Devon Achane for the Dolphins, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns on the year for him. So probably not. And the reason Taylor's not going to get it now for sure is Colts are going to fall out of the playoffs, not even be in the playoffs. So you can take him out of it. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 1,400 yards receiving to this point, 89 catches, 9 touchdowns for Jackson Smith and Jigba.
The second leading receiver on that team has 36 receptions. That's Cooper Kupp. So he's beating that next person by 53 overall receptions on that team.
That's
if
crazy.
That's not an MVP of a team, I don't know what is, man.
Yeah, and he's playing all 13 games. Puka Nacua, 1,186, 6 touchdowns. George Pickens has 1,179, 8 touchdowns. So no, there's not another player that's a non-quarterback that's going to be in this MVP conversation. First half of the year, people were lobbying for Jonathan Taylor. Those days are gone. Now that Daniel Jones is out for the year, it's all done. Riley Leonard gets to play.
You don't believe in Riley Leonard?
Well, I mean, at least The Notre Dame team can watch Riley
he's gonna
Leonard
be
play
mad.
the
He's
rest
going
of
to be
it.
mad about Notre Dame missing the playoffs. So he's going to go out there and ball out.
I mean, the whole team should just go support the Colts now. They
There
got
you
nothing else to do. Their season's over.
That's a good idea. Over in the dugout chat on YouTube and X at WI Sports Radio, if you want to watch us on there, Q, our friend over there, says Love is the MVP because he's not throwing anyone nationally anybody has heard of.
Yes, he doesn't have that guy, right? He doesn't have Puka Nacua, Devontae Smith, Jackson Smith and Jigba. New England? Diggs? Is that the guy?
I mean, he's played really well this season, but he's been more like under the radar playing really well.
Boutte?
He's been pretty good. Like, it's a cast.
But those
Hunter
guys,
Henry has really been the number one wide receiver. It kind of feels like the Packers.
right. They don't have anybody that's that much better than what the Packers have at this point, if we're being honest. You know what the difference there has been? Vrabel. That's been the difference there. That head coach changed everything for the New England Patriots, including for that quarterback. You can look at Jacksonville. I know its completion percentage sucks, but if you look at Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence is playing a hell of a lot better on Liam Cohen as head coach than he was under Doug Peterson and everybody else he's had before that.
I mean, the head coaches so far this season, everybody that added a new one feels like you're seeing the immediate effects of that so far this season. The Bears and Ben Johnson are another one, except for Aaron Glenn and the Jets. That's the only one that's struggled a little bit.
Struggled a little bit. He struggled a whole heck of a lot. And it'll be interesting to see if he's back next year or if he's going to be one and done. We'll have to wait and see how that one plays out for sure. Hey, don't forget, when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win, so act fast. Get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's. Get one more in here. Let's go to KJ in West Allis. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, KJ?
Hey, good afternoon, Sparky. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Good afternoon, Charlie. Hey, I think if first of all, Jordan Love's had a really nice game against the Bears. He did what he needed to do, made some really nice throws down the field, and I think if they win out, they beat the Bears again in Chicago. They beat Denver on the road, and they come up with winning the North. I think Jordan Love should definitely be in the final conversation for MVP.
They got to be the one seed in the NFC, I think, KJ. I don't think that's enough because, again, if you look at this, if the Rams are the one seed and Stafford has better numbers, there's no chance he's taking Stafford.
Yeah, I think that the Rams have a good chance of stumbling against the Seahawks in Seattle. They're going to be up for that game. If Darnold doesn't fall on his feet, in the pocket, and he has a clean game, I think they're going to beat the Rams in Seattle, which will probably open up the door for the Packers to possibly be that number one seed for the NFC.
It would. I don't trust Sam Darnold, though. Thanks for the call. I trust Sam Darnold not at all. With Kevin O'Connell, I'm in. With any other coach in the National Football League right now, I don't think I'm in on Sam Darnold. That was – I know Vikings fans are hot because regardless of what Sam Darnold's doing, they knew what he was doing with Kevin O'Connell. You are wasting Justin Jefferson. And you are lucky that dude isn't crying about wanting to get traded and get the hell out of there at this point.
I got a lot of respect for Justin Jefferson after this season, man, because all he did was miss one media availability.
Yep.
And other than that, he hasn't said anything. He apologized for that the day after.
Yep. I mean, that's big time, man. Because again, a lot of wide receivers are going to go diva and be like, get me the hell out of here if you can't find a quarterback.
Almost every other
to play with me. Yes. I mean, most of them are. There's no question. All right, coming up on the other side, should Matt LaFleur be getting more credit from you than he does? Because, again, he's just setting records by winning football games, winning a lot of football games, just hanging out, doing things that we haven't seen done really before outside of from one person. I'll tell you what that's all about coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
It's not often where a head coach will call out another one. Any extra satisfaction with this?
No, absolutely not. It was just, it's Packers Bears. It's a great rivalry. And certainly with what was at stake in regards to positioning in the NFC North, that's the only thing that matters.
I have a challenge for all of you media writers out there, you Packers beat writers, right? All you guys, Ryan Wood, Tom Silverstein, they can't hear me because I think LaFleur is talking. But this is my challenge. Can somebody go find anybody from this dude's childhood, Matt LaFleur's childhood, anybody at all? Like, I want somebody to do a story on his childhood growing up, grade school, middle school, high school, college. There has to be examples somewhere from somebody of this dude trash talking somebody in a competitive situation, of being mad about losing to a certain somebody, having a beef or a little bit of a rival whenever he played somebody in something. Like, there's got to be stories somewhere about this.
You would think so.
Why can't I light a fire under this cat to get going on this Ben Johnson thing? Come on, man. Let's go. You don't want to go at Dan Campbell. Okay, you're not going to hang with Dan Campbell. I understand. Fine. I get it. Okay. But Ben Johnson? There's nothing to be scared about Ben Johnson. Look at Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson has to take off his shirt to get attention. Seriously, at this point, they're not being worried about Ben Johnson. You yourself said it. It's a great rivalry. Well, then get into the damn rivalry, man. Get into it. I said earlier, I said post game too. He should have ripped his shirt off. Hey, man, I heard the cool thing to do in the NFL now is take off your shirt after a big win. So let's do this. He should have taken his shirt off. That's what he should have done. That would have been amazing. Amazing. That would have been a shot fired at Ben Johnson. Or he could have said, always a little bit more special anytime, I have a chance to beat Ben Johnson. Could have said that after the game. That would have been a little shot fired, right? That would have been good. People asking Matt LaFleur about the quick handshake with Ben Johnson.
Did you or Ben say anything to each other, or was it just a blow-by handshake?
Oh, it's just, I think, quick handshake. We'll see him again in 2 weeks. So
you don't even need to talk to the Ben Johnson dude when you go to shake hands. I don't care about that much. Don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky, Charlie using producing on the other side of the glass. Chicago Charlie, his Bears lose, our Packers win 28-21. Should Matt LaFleur get more credit than what Packer fans give him? Now, you're probably saying to yourself, okay, self, what exactly is Sparky talking about now? Let me tell you what Sparky is talking about. This Packers coach that we currently have, Matt LaFleur, a guy that they hired when most people didn't even know who the hell Matt LaFleur was. He came in here as an offensive coordinator with a garbage offense from Tennessee with Derrick Henry, mind you. I believe Mariota was the quarterback, so he didn't have much of a chance with Mariota anyhow, but it wasn't good. Matt LaFleur in the regular season is 76-36-1. Mike Holmgren in the regular season in that same time frame, 75-37. But Holmgren, 9-5 in the playoffs. LaFleur is just 3-5 in the playoffs. So maybe the reason we're getting all bent out of shape and being mad at LaFleur has more to do about the playoffs than anything else. But LaFleur, who broke the tie with Mike Holmgren to match Hall of Famer Paul Brown for the second most wins by any coach in his first 7 seasons in NFL history. The only one with more is George Seifert with 86 in his first 7 seasons as coach. He's not done. So he's going to go past Paul Brown here, and he is going to be right there behind George Seifert. Now, I know 17 games, not 16. I understand all of that. It's only 1 game, right? So either way, however you want to break this down, LaFleur has done one hell of a job. And yet, earlier this year and the first half of Jordan Love's first year as a starter, what do we hear? Well, I think I move on from Matt LaFleur. Anybody's got to be better than Matt LaFleur as a play caller. He's horrible. Blah, blah, blah. Get rid of Matt LaFleur. He's all we hear, man. And you all act like he ain't going to just get snatched up within 5 minutes of getting let go by the Packers. Must be kidding yourself. Dude is a good coach, man. Does he have flaws? Sure, he has flaws, but nobody is perfect. Do you see Patrick Mahomes getting mad at Andy Reid last night on a play call? He was livid at the play call that Reid had. those two guys have been together forever. They won championships.
It really is a strange world. And I think a lot of Packers fans sometimes can be hypocritical when it comes to stuff like this because they laugh at Bears fans for being so happy whenever they get a win. But at the same time, you guys go on the other end and don't care about wins at all.
Nope.
But whenever a loss happens, you immediately get extremely angry at Matt LaFleur and say that he can't do his job.
If they lose to the Broncos, this game doesn't mean anything.
It's Bears fans at this point don't care about losses at all, man. Well, this season has changed that a little bit. But before that, if you lost a game in a blowout fashion, it was like, well, on to next week, and you get a win, and you talk about the win for the next 3 weeks.
I got done here doing the post game last night. Tommy Orts and I go to Tommy. I go, because we got done at 7:30, whatever it was. And I go to Tommy. I go, do you know what I'm doing on my way home? He goes, what? I go, I'm turning on the score in Chicago. I'm going to listen to these people cry and whine my whole way back to Oak Creek. That's my goal. That's what I'm going to do because I love doing it. There's nothing better than after a Bears loss, hear them cry. So I turn on 670 the score. You know what I got?
What's that?
Bulls basketball. I was like, come on, man. So then I was like, all right, fine. They must be live streaming, right? So sure enough, they're live streaming on YouTube, and it's Olin Kreutz and who else was it? Mully from Mully and Haw, I think, was on, and somebody else. Maybe it was Patrick Manley. So those guys are talking after the game. First of all, they did. I don't know. I don't think they took calls because they were live streaming and they weren't on the radio. So I think it was just those three talking. But it was a lot of, well, I don't believe in moral victories, but hey, they kept it close. You got to be happy that they kept it close. It was a lot of keeping it close talk. I was like, really? That's where we're at right now? Is the Bears just happy to keep it close? Because again, the thinking is that, okay, we kept it close here. When they come to us in Chicago in 2 weeks, then we're going to get our revenge and even this thing up at 1 apiece. Now, if the Packers go to Chicago and win that one too, I don't think there's going to be the, well, we kept it close twice talk anymore.
No, that one has to be, you lose by like 1 point in the final seconds of the game, or you win that game at this point. This first game was seeing where you were at. I think that's the reason 670 score and all these other people talking about the Bears are looking at a situation like that and say, you know what? We got room to grow now. We know what we need to change.
No doubt. Question is this: should Matt LaFleur get more credit than what Packer fans give him? Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Live streaming on X and on YouTube. Come be a part of the family. We miss you. At WI Sports Radio. Got some dugout chat going on over there as well, Charlie. What do you got?
So if we head on over there, Rainbow Trout says, why should MLF be praised? He's got a poor playoff record and his regular season record post-Rodgers is decent and nothing more. Heck, if he loses in the first round again, he should be fired.
See that? Why is he always so mad? I don't even know if it's a he. It might be a she, Rainbow Trout. I mean, a fish could be male or female, right? I don't know.
Q also says, Matt LaFleur lost to the Browns in Carolina this season. No, he gets no credit.
The Rams lost to Carolina. Fire McVay and cut Stafford. Stop. Just stop with all that nonsense. Let's go to John in Franklin. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talking text line. What's up, John?
Hey, guys. Nice game by the Pack yesterday. You know, I haven't been easy on LaFleur. I think I call him Mr. Nice Guy. But I'll tell you what, you know, winning sure changes people's tunes, including kind of mine. I mean, I wasn't calling for him to be fired. That's just ridiculous. But I was definitely not real thrilled with how the offense was looking a month ago. And even with the injury to Kraft, man, look how they implemented Reed. I'm just liking a lot of what I've seen out of him, specifically the last couple weeks. And by the way, if I was a Bears fan, I wouldn't be too upset about that game. These guys are ahead of schedule.
Yes.
And they held their own in Lambeau Field in that cold, and I know they're a cold weather team too. But I wouldn't be embarrassed if I was a Bear fan. I mean, I wasn't, as a Packer fan, I wasn't feeling real good until that interception was caught. I can tell you that much. I was on pins and needles, even though at times it looked like we could blow the thing open, and it just never happened. But as far as LaFleur and this whole back and forth, you know, this is up to little brother and the talking crap. And this has come from many, starting with Lovie Smith. This has been going on with the Bears coaches because they're trying to catch back up to us now. And it's been that way. We've been spoiled. It's been a long run. And it's not, and I'm liking how LaFleur is handling it because we don't have to participate in that because we're the big brother and they keep looking up at us even when they think they got us.
Yeah. Well, again, I think part of this is going to be for the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, unless the Chicago Bears win this division for 2 or 3 years. And I don't know if that's going to happen. But if they get to that point, maybe the mindset for both change. But the mindset you're talking about, I think, is exactly where we're at on both sides. Thanks for the call, John. Would you agree with his mindset of how this looks right now?
I would think so. Yeah, I think looking at the way the Chicago Bears are playing this season, it feels like they just want to make a new identity for themselves, one that they haven't had for a really long time. And this Packers team, I think, is past that point. They've created the identity that they want at this point. We saw it throughout the past 2 seasons, the multiple different kinds of Jordan Love that we saw, the different ways that they ran this offense, ran this defense. This is the time, this is the year where you've seen it all kind of click together, especially over the past couple of weeks. Now it's about taking that and taking that next step, which the Bears are just a couple steps behind that.
See, Sparky, if I were Charlie using over there, Potawatomi Sportsbook, man, it's a beautiful thing. But you know what else is a beautiful thing? Those shuttles that run to and from Bucks home games downtown, so you don't got to pay outrageous prices for parking. So you park at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel, right? You're all set. Good. The shuttles leave an hour and 15 minutes before the game. They return starting in the third quarter back to the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Now, this is how you get on. You either have to make a same game day wager right there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Once you make the wager, then you'd be like, hey, I can get a bracelet because I'm going to the Bucks game for the shuttle. Yep, here you go. Or you make a purchase inside of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That will also get you there. And the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen is amazing. 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails, appetizers, full menu of different stuff, including that John Kuhn platter all-day brunch. Got homemade desserts and pastries every day as well. They're at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So take advantage of all of that. Get your bracelet and take yourself on that shuttle. For more information, simply go to Potawatomi.com. Again, that's Potawatomi.com. All right, coming up next, we got to get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, summed up by Wendy. Sparky here. Charlie using other side of the glass. I don't see any Bears crap on you.
No.
You wearing any Bears crap?
No, I'm wearing all black, Sparky.
Oh, you're mourning.
I'm mourning, yes.
You know, the winter meetings are going on for baseball, and I'm reading everything I can find for the last 48 hours on baseball. I know I'm weird, but I can't wait for the Brewers season to start. I hate to break it to y'all, but I cannot wait for the Brewers because I'm excited. You get Woodruff back healthy. You got Peralta, all these young cats for another year. Like, I am so excited for baseball. But anyways, there's nothing on the Brewers. I mean, nothing. I look at foul territory. Hey, maybe my buddy Matt Arnold's going to be on. Somebody, nothing. I'm reading Rosenthal. Oh, rumblings from before it starts. Nothing on the Brewers. I was like, come on, man.
And the rumblings are that like the Pirates are offering Kyle Schwarber. It's not really like real rumblings, you know.
I'm telling you, mark my words. You heard it here first. Marlins are going to overpay somebody. Pirates are going to overpay somebody, and the Reds probably are going to overpay somebody. And this is all getting ready for the CBA thing at the end of 26. Telling you, that's the only reason this is happening. And furthermore, I would be willing to bet you that they're not even long-term deals. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Schwarber 1 at 40.
That'd be a crazy deal.
1 at 40. 1 at 40, and then you can go hit free agency after this year. But for the CBA purposes, I got to get my number up, so I'm going to overpay you to come here and play in Pittsburgh.
If I could get 1 at 4, I'd retire the next day. Not the next day, but the next year. I'd play 1 year, man.
I'm going to call you Robbie Jr. Yeah, in your 20s, talking about retiring. Stop.
If I could get $40 million,
what are you
going to
do?
Me?
What are you going to do at home retired? And how old are you?
Buy a log cabin in the middle of nowhere, hang out with a dog and my girlfriend.
No way.
Have a good life.
No
Yeah.
chance. No way. I mean, y'all say that. There's no way. You'd be so bored out of your ever-loving mind, you'd have nothing to do. Nothing.
But you have everything to do.
No,
you have $40
don't.
million in the whole world to explore, man.
We could argue about this for 3 hours. There's no way. I guarantee you if I won the lottery, I would still work. Promise you.
Maybe like something like just whatever I want. Like I'd keep doing this.
Like let's say I won the lottery and won like, I don't know, 300 million or something like that, right? I'd buy the radio stations. That'd be the first thing I'd do. It'd be the Sparky Radio Network. I'm joking. But I'd buy something radio-wise, right? So I wouldn't have to worry about losing a format or anything crazy like that. And I'd work. That's it. But there's no way I could sit at home. Like, I hate sitting at home.
Again, you don't have to sit at home. You could travel. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Let's get to we are wasting so much time. We're gonna have to push it back now. Golly, man, I hate when I do that. I sidetrack the show, and now we can't get to Charlie Sounds of the day. So now we got to push it back to 420. I apologize. Nicolay Law Talking text line got a text here. 2 questions for you boys. Why do they never throw or have outs on the field for Matthew Golden? You think Matt LaFleur's record is as good as it is because he had Aaron Rodgers for the first 3 years or 4 years, whatever it was? From the 262. Let's start with the first one. I don't know why they don't design and run stuff from Matthew Golden. I don't understand. Like, if I was Brian Gutekunst, man, we haven't drafted a receiver in the first round. How many years? This kid catches everything you throw at him. He's quick. He runs decent routes, I think. I mean, we should get like Dusty Evely or somebody on and tell me if I'm right or wrong, or Andy Herman. But I think he runs pretty decent routes. For the love of God, I don't understand why he is not a more prominent part of this offense in year one.
Well, the first thing is he has to stay on the field consistently.
Sure.
I think that's
fair.
where you have to start. And him being a rookie wide receiver, if he's not going to be on the field, it's hard to want to just shove him back into the top of that lineup or that rotation there. The other thing is here, the Matt LaFleur and this Packers team has done a really good job over the past few years at giving their young players time to kind of find where they fit in on their own. And right now, I think Matthew Golden is going through that process. And then eventually they'll get him in there where they feel comfortable putting him in. You saw that kind of with Jordan Morgan. I know same deal. He spent a lot of the year injured, but they waited to kind of see what they had out of him and then tried him somewhere this year. Now they're going to try him somewhere next year. It happens all across the team.
I'm not waiting to year 3 for Matthew Golden. No, I'm not waiting to year 3 for Matthew Golden.
Where you've had to wait for a lot of these guys.
Matthew Golden's got to pop before the end of this year. Like, if Matthew Golden's come out game is in the playoffs, I'm totally fine with that. Like, if his breakout game is going to be like, I'm here, and he catches 6 for 140, if that's in a playoff game against the Eagles, I'm good with it.
But
Or against the Rams, sweet.
I don't know if you want just that breakout game and then all of a sudden, because he hadn't played well throughout the majority of the beginning of the season, has one playoff game and now expectations are sky high next year, and then he still needs time to develop. That's going to be a problem too, though.
I don't care about next year. I care about winning playoff games. So if Matthew Golden busts out in the playoffs and helps us win playoff games, that's all I care about. I'll worry about his ego and expectations next year when we get to that point next year for sure. Then we'll worry about that. All right, coming up, Green and Gold update. We'll hear from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. As far as Matt LaFleur's record and Aaron Rodgers, sure, Aaron Rodgers helps that record, no question. But last time I checked, they haven't had a losing record in the last 3 years with Jordan Love either. Last time I checked, they made the playoffs, won a road game against a Cowboys team that hadn't lost at home all year and killed people and upset them. And last year they were in the playoffs too. And right now they sit in first place in the NFC North. I don't know. That's with Jordan Love. No Aaron Rodgers on this team.
Have some
Still
faith.
winning.
Have some faith.
Still winning. Ain't like he's been, 4-13 the last 3 years with Jordan Love. That's not what we're talking about. Coming up next, Green and Gold update. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Fiver with you.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Holy goodness. Sparky here, Charlie using over there. We are broadcasting live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Charlie using on the other side of the glass. Can I just say, our general manager tried doing the live at our Christmas party.
Did it do as good?
I mean, it was open bar, but I mean, no, it wasn't so good. I was exhausted by that point because the Christmas party was last Thursday night. And some of us went. Others, like Rami Makaloff, apparently forgot that it was that night. But it was a lot of fun. I was there for how long was I there? 45 minutes. I was up and out of there. I was exhausted. I couldn't get warm from being out at the toy drive and the whole deal. And speaking of the toy drive, hey man, I want to say thanks to everybody around the state of Wisconsin for being a part of the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Very, very successful indeed, whether it be through online and our guy Trevor Thomas. Hey, Inside Wisconsin Sports, him and Josh Albrecht, weekday morning 6 to 9. He really kind of catapulted the online stuff by saying, hey, I'll match up to $500 with anything that's donated via text from 9 to noon on Friday. And it blew up, man. We had multiple people doing 500 donations. We had multiple people doing 250. Natty Oaks, a local establishment in West Allis here, did 1,500. I mean, that was huge. It was the best online day we had all week, and it was just awesome. So I want to say thank you for giving this year the 19th annual toy drive, Children's Wisconsin, Robin's Nest at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. They were awesome all week. All the employees there were super nice. The managers were all awesome. There was one manager, she had never done it before there, that worked at night, and all hell was breaking loose the one night. We had people donating toys and everything was going on. I was running around trying to get boxes. And I was like, how you doing? She's like, this is insane. I said, yes, it is. It is insane. The toy drive was a huge success as we filled that semi-trailer, which was the goal. Thanks to our sponsors, Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries by the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. And, of course, I want to thank Bear Sunrooms for having us all set up in a nice, comfy, warm spot throughout the week. Couldn't do it without Bear Sunrooms as well. All right, it's 4 o'clock, which means it's time to do this.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, time to get to it. How about Malik Heath getting released? How about that at the end of the week?
I mean, the writing was on the wall earlier in the season when he got benched for no reason, and there was all these other little things that were going on. I mean, when Bo Melton is going to go out here and do whatever you ask him to do, it's kind of hard to compete with that, especially when you're going to be a diva a little bit.
Correct. Yeah, it absolutely is. No question. And I mean, he was a good run blocker and all of that, and that was good. Receiving wise, he had some moments. Something happened. Something must have happened there at the end that triggered this fallout the way it went. All right, let's hear from Matt LaFleur, who spoke just a little while ago.
Matt, what's key or what makes a good deep ball thrower?
What makes a good deep ball?
What goes into a quarterback being good at throwing the deep ball?
I think every situation is a little bit different in regards to, typically I would say guys that can judge, you always want to be able to throw with air under it and allow your receivers to run underneath the ball. But sometimes the situations don't account for that based on coverage, where the safety is. There's a lot of layers to that question in regards to, the leverage that you're getting at wide receiver. And like I said, just being able to maybe either move a safety, look off a safety, but I would say more times than not, successful deep ball throwers can put some air under the ball.
How much do you think Jordan's improved at that? I feel like, his first year or so, we often would hear you say he put too much air, he put not enough air under it.
Yeah, he's done a pretty darn good job. So think he's really developed. Not all of them are going to be perfect. There were a couple that were left short, but he also made a couple really nice throws as well. So, but I think, yeah, I would say that's an area that from the time he got here to where he is now, that's like many other areas has been significantly improved over time.
You guys are 4-0 in the division. It's obviously a lot better than last year. I know there's still work to do, but what do you think's been the biggest difference?
I just think we found a way to win a lot of these tight games, and I a year ago we didn't. So a lot of times we were digging ourselves into holes, and we had to come back, and we just couldn't quite pull it off. And this year there's been a lot less of that.
Can we stop here for a second, just real quickly, interrupt Matt LaFleur? Why do you think that's been the case? Why do you think they've now figured out how to essentially close games, Charlie Using?
I think they feel more comfortable with each other. I think him and Jordan Love specifically, and I think just the offense, the defense in general, there's a synergy on this team that I don't think I felt last season. And even earlier in the year, it feels like they're all on the same page and firing on the same cylinders. And it's something that makes them more confident in these late game situations where they do need to close it out a little bit.
For me, we're going to probably say the same thing without saying the same thing. It's maturity, man. You've been the youngest team in the league now for the last 3 years. These guys now that are going in their third year or their second year, Love now in his first full year without either nobody knowing what they're doing in their first year, him being hurt and beat up the second year, where actually everybody knows what they're doing. He is actually getting to play a full season. He got dinged up in the one game, but being able to play a full season as well, the way he wants to play. We haven't seen 6 different versions of the offense within inside of one season. Because in year 1, there was 2 versions of the offense. In year 2, there was 2 versions of the offense. This year, now it's been, well, I shouldn't say that. Because it feels like the last 2 weeks now, we're starting to get a little bit more aggressive with how he's calling plays. So this may start to look like the second half of his first year as a starter if this continues. And part of that reason is because they got Christian Watson back a couple weeks ago. So now he's starting to open up a little bit with Watson. And now he gets Jaden Reed. And as you pointed out, Senovich said they took out a good portion of the playbook once Reed went down. So now that portion gets added in, which means now this offense becomes even more dynamic. Could you imagine if they still had Tucker Kraft, though? Oh, my God. If they still had Tucker Kraft, they might be the best offense in football.
I mean, Josh Jacobs, though, in the last drive that the Packers had there, looked like he was doing what Tucker Kraft was able to do. If you can find other players to get that job done in different moments in these games, I mean, you miss them just a little bit less.
And see that, and to me, again, when we start talking about missing guys, that's the thing with Tucker Kraft. Everybody thought, oh, this offense is screwed. They have nobody to replace him. But Musgrave stretching the field. Now, he ain't breaking 6 tackles, but just catch the ball 30 yards downfield. I don't care if you don't take a step. Catch the ball, hold on to it, go down. Somebody tag you. Hey, I'm good. You don't have to break a tackle. You can get taken down by a fingernail for all I care. Just catch the ball. And for the most part, he's done that. And they had, 7 targets at tight ends yesterday, if I'm remembering correctly. That's a lot more than they've had at that tight end position for a minute now.
Yeah, and it was different guys. It was a situation where, again, it just felt like Jordan Love was comfortable with the team around him, and Matt LaFleur is comfortable with the squad that he has on the field, to the point where they just have confidence in whoever they're throwing the ball to.
Yes, exactly right. All right, let's get back to more of Matt LaFleur.
Matt, was there anything that Jordan did adjustment-wise after that interception in the first half and just the way he played the rest of the line?
No, I think he just shook it off. I mean, it was just one of those plays that you're like, I can't believe I did that. Now there was some detail within the play that wasn't correct either. That I'm not saying that's why it happened, but it certainly didn't help. So that's something that we absolutely cleaned up today.
You think Golden ran it wrong?
No.
Golden was behind him. Do you think Golden ran the wrong depth?
I mean, there's potential there, but it was a bad.
It was horrible
throw,
looking.
Man. Like,
and Love said it came out of his hand wrong. That's what Love said. He said there was something within the play that was wrong. So to me, it goes back to, did he run it at the wrong depth? That's my first thing that I think of when I hear that.
Maybe, but if it doesn't come out of Jordan Love's hand wrong, I think he has an opportunity to maybe try to get it over the middle of the field defender there in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
Maybe get to Matthew Golden in that deep round, and it doesn't matter as much. I don't know. Yeah, you can talk about the scheme of the play, Matt LaFleur, but in all reality, Jordan Love just didn't have a good throw. It's okay.
They didn't throw it at Golden again the rest of the day, did they?
Not that I can think of, but he barely played for the rest of the day too.
Mm-hmm. So again, I ask, did he mess up on that play? I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe not. Just saying.
Matt, you mentioned Wicks and his ankle. Is it a day-to-day thing, or was it a little bit more than that?
Yeah, he's been battling through that. And I would say it's day to day. I mean, he was limited in practice, and so we'll see how he progresses. But certainly, we need him out there. He's a guy that you could see it early in the routes that he was running. There was one in particular, it might have been the first play of the game, where Jalen Johnson's pressed on him, and his ability to get a guy to move off the spot is pretty impressive.
So I'm just curious, because you also had Golden up, and then he didn't play a whole lot either. Are you guys giving the guys Bullard said that you kind of gave him, I don't want to say the option, but you took his input. Are you giving guys more leeway to give their feeling on whether they can play or not? You had Zach Tom earlier this year play one play.
Yeah, I would say this. I mean, you're either clear, you got to be cleared medically, obviously, but I would say that there's a level of confidence that comes with that as well. And we don't want to put guys out there that aren't necessarily confident in what they can and cannot do.
Right when he started talking about and the question got asked, I watched Sparky drop his phone and just have the angriest look at the computer possible, waiting for the response.
No, I'm not. I'm just not. We're gonna go right back to it. We're gonna go back. I'm not even gonna engage. I'm just gonna disengage and act like I didn't hear any of that. We're just gonna. If you've listened to the show, you know how angry I get over this. Oh, let the players decide if they're gonna play or not. Drives me nuts. Here we go.
Madam, I'm curious how you felt about the run defense yesterday. On the one hand, the Bears kind of controlled the game in the second half, particularly with the run. On the other hand, they ran it 30 plus times and didn't even have a 10-yard run. So how did you feel about how your run defense did?
Yeah, I thought there were times where it was really sound and we did the right thing, and there were other times where we have a guy off here or there, or not in the right gap, and that is a good offensive line. I'll give them a ton of credit, and I love the way those two backs run. They do a good job scheming up some things, and then just once they get going forward, those guys are tough to bring down.
You also had a defensive tackle. You literally signed off the Giants practice squad and said, "Here, go play." And again, the guy's a gigantic human being, so I understand it. Hey, man, what do you feel about being Green Bay? I'm here to stop the run in the Bears game. That's what I'm here to do. Stop the run. Here to stop the run for the rest of the year. They signed two gigantic human beings prior to the game on Sunday and immediately said, go. And that is something to me that is, not headlines. It's not going to be on ESPN. Oh, Brian Gutekunst signs this dude off the practice squad from the Giants. No, that's not it. But that's Brian Gutekunst going, hey, man, I think we might have a chance at this. And I don't want us not being able to stop the run be the reason why we can't finish this thing by the time we get into the playoffs. So if I sign these guys here in week 14, that gives them, 4 more games. So by the time they get to their first playoff game, they're going to know this defense inside and out. Halfley's going to know these guys, and we can really utilize them the way we want. I think it was a great move by Brian Gutekunst. And if it doesn't work out, you move on. To me, it looked fine. I had no issues. I didn't watch the All-22, nothing like that yet. When that comes out, I'm sure all the film analysts like Andy Herman and Dusty Evely will be breaking it down, and Peter Bukowski. But to me, all is good for the most part. But they were exhausted by the time that game got to about fourth quarter. You could tell they were starting to feel it for the entire game.
But what you saw is the linebacker room pick them up and make sure tackles late in that game, which is something that I think there's been moments where, they don't miss a lot of tackles, but you see these guys hit the wrong gap a lot.
Yeah.
You see them over pursue a lot of times. This is a situation where they stepped up. And on the other side of things, you saw the Bears linebackers take a step back when they got tired, when the defense line got tired, and they missed a ton of tackles late in that game. That was the difference. That unit worked as a group to say, hey, you guys are getting tired. I got your back.
And the other part about this too, Charlie, is Brady said it during the game. Brady said that as far as missed tackles go, that this is like one of the most sure-sounding teams as far as tackling goes in like the last decade. As far as these guys, first guy there makes the tackle every time.
It's just about putting yourself in the right position sometimes, which, again, guys like Edge Cooper kind of struggled with, but he's gotten so much better later on the season.
He had a game yesterday too. Man, his helmet. Was that? I mean, they were saying that was a piece of his helmet. I almost thought it was his mouthpiece that went flying in there because it was white, and they were acting like it was his helmet that got broke or whatever. I don't think it was his helmet.
The underside usually of that paint has like kind of a white coating underneath because they put like a base coat. When I've like broken helmets or chipped the paint, you can see
it looks like it's white. So maybe it was the helmet then. That was a brutal hit. In fact, that dude stayed on his feet and went to the right and got outside after that collision.
That's everybody at the brewery was just like, that was awesome. Both guys. It was just an awesome play.
That was like old school
football.
NFL. That's what it was. Old school NFL. Charlie using over there. Steve Sparky, Fiver here. That's it for Matt LaFleur. No need to go any farther as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure what y'all think. Let's see here. 414 is, hey, I think Luka's going to have some big moments ahead from the 414 and the Nicolay Law Talk text line. I agree. I think they're going to continue to stretch Musgrave down the middle of the field, especially if guys want to play that cover two over the top here. That's the best way to break that. You send that tight end down the middle of the field and take advantage of it while they're worried about Christian Watson running down one side and everything else. That's how you break it, but you have to have the tight ends you believe in. Fitzpatrick's not that guy. Wiley's not that guy, but Musgrave could be that guy.
I just need Musgrave and Love to be a little bit more on the same page because it feels like these downfield throws that they have with each other, it's always just a bit out of reach for Musgrave. Or Musgrave is maybe overrunning it a little bit. If they can just connect on those more often, man, he could be a really dangerous downfield threat.
Another one here from Ziggy on the Packers game. I know you guys are moving on. This was from the last segment. But I support Sparky here regarding Golden. First-round picks are expected to contribute year one. Why are we even messing with Melton when Golden has his speed and better hands? That's from Ziggy on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. I don't know. Again, my thought is after you hear them talk about that play and there was some screw up on the play itself on that interception, I just wonder whether or not Golden is doing what Golden is supposed to do when he's on the field.
Or maybe Matthew Golden is just saying he doesn't want to play because Matt LaFleur is apparently letting everybody do that. Sparky.
See, it's like the stupid stuff that you say. It's like, man, why do I have his microphone on? I don't understand. World of Tenders, Wendy's decided to make something more juicy, more crispy, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here. Some may call them tendies. And yes, it's fun to say and even more fun to eat. And Wendy's new chicken tendies come with an insane new sauce lineup. New Wendy's signature. Amazing. I had it on Friday. It's so good. New sweet chili or new scorching hot, or choose one of the classics, honey barbecue, creamy ranch, or honey mustard. Whatever you choose, they're the perfect vessel to dip all your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable, you'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Coming up next, Charlie Sounds of the Day. I heard that there might be something involving something that I was going to talk about.
Yes, there definitely is.
There definitely is.
There definitely is.
How am I going to like said sound?
From our conversations before the show, I think you may agree a little bit, potentially.
How about that? Not getting mad on a Monday. All right, back.
I wouldn't say that.
See what happens when you get your hopes up. Charlie Sounds of the Day next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. How y'all doing on a green and gold Monday? Nice victory over the Chicago Bears makes everybody feel happy. Put a little smile on your face, especially if you work in the southern part of this state where you're surrounded by those Bears fans everywhere. And you really get a little extra pep in your step walking around the office. Bet you a majority of those people you work with ain't wearing Bear stuff, just like Charlie ain't wearing his Bear stuff.
Rami was rocking his Bear stuff.
Just like my son who went to school today wasn't wearing his Bear stuff.
Tommy's rocking his Bear stuff.
Tommy is rocking his Bears plaid. I don't get that either. But I do get it because he had a great line and comeback line to me earlier when I brought it up to him. I'm not saying it on the radio, but it was a great comeback line. No question about that. All right, let's get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, it's brought to you by Prize Picks. It's holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matches, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch, one place where it feels good to be right. Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy. All you're doing is going more or less on daily stat projections provided to you by Prize Picks. 2 or more players. You can stack players, which means you can use the same player. So you can go Giannis more or less on points, Giannis more or less on rebounds, Giannis more or less on block shots, whatever you want to do. And then you got to throw one other player into that lineup, and away you go to your lineup there. They have the flex play option as well, which means you click this little box that says flex play. Now, you don't get as good odds versus if you don't pick flex play. But if you pick flex play and there's one wrong, you can still cash out on your lineup, which is something Charlie and I learned across the time here, that is our best option is doing the flex play for certain. The other thing I've learned across the time of doing this is downloading the Prize Picks app and using code SPARKY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup is absolutely brilliant, because they're essentially, you're putting 5 in, and then they're giving you 50. That's 55. If you play $5 lineups, that's 11 lineups. That cost you $5. Even if you've never done this, it's worth doing. That's code SPARKY, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Again, download, use that code SPARKY. Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Where are we going first?
First up, we're going to head over to college football on Fox, where Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman was discussing being left out of the college football playoffs in favor of teams like Alabama and Miami.
The ultimate question is, who's the best team now, right? And that's what the playoff committee wants, and I'm sure that's what college football fans want. And I think anytime you look at one single data point, it's going to sway you one way or another. But the committee made it clear on Tuesday that the debate and focus has been on Notre Dame and Alabama. And I might not agree with the decision to flip us, but it shows that the debate isn't Notre Dame, BYU, Miami. It's Notre Dame and Alabama. And as I evaluate our team and what we've been able to do the past 10 weeks, I believe we're as complete of a team as in playing as well as anybody in the country. 10 straight wins by at least 10 points or more. I think only 4 teams in the top 25 right now have done that. And I think only 3 teams in the past 5 years have won 10 straight games with an average margin of 30 points per victory. And so you look at those 10 teams over the past 5 years, you got 3 national champions. You got 3 teams this year with Ohio State, Indiana, and Notre Dame. You got us last year and a couple semifinalists. So that's why I continue to emphasize who are the best teams now, and to not just focus on one single data point.
Just beat Miami. That to me is something where, again, I like Alabama. I think Kalen DeBoer has done an okay job there, even though people wanted him fired last year in Tuscaloosa. I think he's done fine. I would have taken Notre Dame over Alabama as well, if we're being honest here. I think Notre Dame deserves a shot to be in that thing over DeBoer of Alabama. The problem is when you start talking about the committee debating too, what are they? They're 2 legendary historical football programs. So it's not Boise State against Notre Dame or against Alabama. We're like, duh. we're going to go to the traditional powerhouse that has gigantic fan base. Both of those two schools have huge fan bases and so forth. Then Notre Dame makes the decision of, screw you, we're not going to go play in your bowl game then. Well, that doesn't hurt anybody but yourself, man. You cost yourself money. You cost your young players 23 practices or so by not going. I don't, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. I'll never, ever, ever, ever understand why any college program would say no to a bowl game. There's a million of them. I understand. But that month of extra practice for your freshmen and your sophomores and so forth, guys you may be relying on next year to get them all that extra work and reps, because they rep a lot in that time frame, right? Because these seniors and juniors have been playing. They're banged up, beat up. They need a little rest. So these young guys get more work. You say all of that out the window because your ego can't handle being in the playoff. So dumb. Just so dumb and arrogant. Both.
I mean, the one other thing that I can think of that potentially why you would keep yourself out of it, and I don't agree with the decision. I think you should play in the bowl game. But also at the same point, if you do let your freshmen and sophomores that haven't played all season go out there and play, and your freshman quarterback that you're maybe letting play goes out there and has 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, and then Alabama comes knocking on his
No, I'm
dorm
saying
door
practicing. I'm saying during those practices, not in the game.
But
during those practices,
in
that's
these
a
games,
valuable
these
time.
players are going to play in these games.
Hopefully,
the seniors
some
and
of them.
juniors will sit out because either they just are done with their careers at this point, or maybe are transferring themselves, going to the NFL. You get a lot of these young players that get opportunities to play in the game. You can't let them leave by showing out, honestly.
I'm sorry. I mean, based on your logic, then nobody should ever go to a bowl game because you're scared of the portal taking your best players.
That's why half of these teams don't do it.
Yeah, it's just absolutely stupid. All right, go ahead.
And next up, we're going to head over to the world of college basketball, where Arkansas head coach John Calipari was discussing seeing older and older teams in college basketball, unlike his Arkansas squad, like he says.
Look, there are a lot of older gentlemen with beards playing basketball in college right now. There are. So you know, the one that's crazy is the guy comes in and he's waving to his kids up in the seats. And you're like, wait a minute, the guy got 2 kids. He's still playing college basketball. Crazy thing, he's using NIL for his first wife's alimony. And now he's still playing college basketball. Are we nuts? So now you have these kind of games and these kind of scores. That team is really old. My guess is, again, we're probably the youngest team in the SEC. We'll be one of the 3 youngest teams in the SEC. Those teams are old. Last year, every team was old in our league. They were old. And so now you're going to have those kind of things. And you're also going to have a team like a Fresno beat somebody because they got all grad students, seniors, and their average age is 25. And your average age is 19 or 20.
Bitter much? How bitter really are we? Listen, the whole alimony thing, I'm guessing that's all made up, but who knows? Maybe there's a dude that he actually has a point with on that, and he's calling out specifically. But let's just not be so bitter. You're not going to fix the system by calling it out and saying, oh, poor us, I'm deciding to play freshman and sophomore and grow my program and so forth. Like, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to change anything. You taking your shots. Do you think anybody cares, the NCAA, that you're running your mouth? You've ran your mouth the majority of your career. Most of the time, they just ignore you. I understand Cal's point on this, but at the same point, I think he's just wasting hot air. Like, it's just not going to go anywhere.
Just leave like everybody else if that's what you want. Nick Saban's sitting comfy in a booth right now.
Cal is wanted, again, regardless of what all is said. Everything I've heard for years is Cal wants back in the NBA and has wanted back in the NBA for quite some time to prove that he can win at the NBA level. Now, maybe as he's gotten older, maybe that has changed. But at this point, I think the NBA life is a hell of a lot easier than being a college coach. Just like the NFL, I think it probably is getting closer to being a lot easier than being an NFL or a college football head coach with all the stuff you got to worry about. Halfley's here's a D coordinator. He don't have to worry about NIL, portal, talking to parents, talking to boosters. He worries about what scheme he's going to run the next week and talking to grown men about how to play the game. That's a lot less stressful than what he was dealing with at Boston College.
I don't know, except for NBA players can be just as entitled, if not more entitled,
Sure,
than
but-
these college players right
But
now,
you
too.
still don't have NIL, you don't have portal, you don't have alumni and boosters to deal with, you don't have all that other stuff. And in my mind, it's a lot less stressful than dealing with a college. I mean, God bless everybody. Speaking of which, sidetrack. Is Crean doing this post-game show because he's going to be the new Bucks head coach? Is that what's going on?
Maybe.
Is that what's going on?
Ooh.
So Doc Rivers, consultant, head coach, middle of the year. So are we seeing whether or not ownership likes Crean, and that's why he's on the post-game show, and Crean is going to take over post-Doc and post-Giannis, and Crean's going to coach the young guys and whatever that team looks like going forward? Is that what we're doing?
I feel like that could make sense. You know, give a little trial run, seeing how he would go about doing things. Interesting. You might be onto something.
Just
Smokey.
saying. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. It really wouldn't. Go ahead.
Last up here, you brought up boosters before, but this is Dan Wetzel, college basketball insider, breaking down booster insurance, something that Coach Calipari brought up himself.
Want to hear one of the craziest side businesses of the NIL era in college sports? Try booster insurance. That's right, booster insurance. Brainchild of Arkansas coach John Calipari said, hey, if I go ask a booster or a business or even my school's rev share for $1 million to get a player, what happens if that player gets injured on day one, doesn't play? Player still gets his money, which is great, but everyone else is out. Enter booster insurance. Enter 32 teams, a group that's offering, backed by Lloyd's of London, a deal where Arkansas is going to pay 3% premium to get this thing insured. 30 grand on $1 million player. If that player is lost in the season before January 15th, Arkansas gets all its money back. If it's by February 15th, they get half. The player's lost, but the school gets to take that money, use it for next year's recruits, use it to fund the program or whatever. They're protected. It's a lot of money out there that's not being insured in college sports. So enter booster insurance. It's a weird one, but it's coming for college athletics.
Wisconsin will get it in like 20 years.
When they figure out what NIL and transfer portals
no
are.
No idea what the hell that is. I got no clue. What? What's a booster? What's a booster? What are you talking about? A booster? I don't know what a booster is. We got this one old guy, but other than him, I don't know what this booster thing is. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's smart. As Dan Wetzel breaks it down, what Cal is doing in Arkansas, breaks that whole thing down. It makes a lot of sense. And it alleviates them losing a lot of money.
It gives the school, it gives this team power over these teenagers instead of the other way around, like it has been for the past 5 years or so since NIL has been introduced.
Yeah, good stuff there. All right, take a quick time out. Coming up on that was 3, right? Yeah.
That was 3.
Coming up on the other side, Things Sparky Miss, brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Straight ahead. I got to talk a little bit about the Big Ten championship game. I must get into that for sure. Got to talk a little bit about Shedeur, and the Brewers get another award. How cool is that? It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's. Potawatomi Sportsbook. So we're going to be, if you're looking for somewhere to go watch the game tonight, Monday Night Football, that's your place. Going somewhere to watch Thursday Night Football, that's your place. Going somewhere to watch college basketball, that's your place. How about college football? You can get the bowl season and playoffs and all that stuff. That's your place. 2,000 square foot screen, over 30 different sporting events at one time they can show. They have all the UFC pay-per-views and all that fun stuff on as well. And they jack up the volume there. Perfect place to go watch that. Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen is amazing to go along with everything else. You've got 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails, homemade desserts and pastries made each and every day at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel for the sportsbook. Plus, you have the John Kuhn platter. You got all-day brunch, burgers, wraps, wings, you name it. They have it at the Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen. 2 levels. At second level, you can rent that out for business meetings or little parties and stuff like that. Absolutely gorgeous facility. Best sports book in the Midwest. By far, bar none. Check out the Potawatomi Sportsbook today and reserve your seat ahead of time. Still nominal fee, but that goes towards your food and beverage costs for the night. Go to potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook for more details on that. With that being said, let's go.
What story did Sparky miss talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily? Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now. Don't miss Milwaukee Admirals hockey this season. Don't just buy tickets. Invest in memories at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com.
All right, let's get to it. Things that we missed on today's show. We got about 10 minutes left to go in the show here. First off, Brewers Baseball America's Organization of the Year for 2025, Charlie Usen.
That's pretty cool. I feel like that's a pretty high honor.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be an even higher honor with a World Series attached to it, but
didn't ask you about that. Just stay where we are. Stay in your lane. Let's not expand the lane. Stay in the lane of where we are. Listen, this just speaks volumes of the entire organization from the front office down, whether you're talking about international scouting, whether you're talking about pro scouting, the minor leagues, all the coaching and training and all those staffs in the minor leagues, all the way up to the pros. When you get Organization of the Year, that means everything is clicking across the board, more so than everybody else in baseball. And if we're being honest, it's been this way for a minute. They may not win it every year, but for the last few years under Matt Arnold, it has been this way. That farm system at every level, for the most part, has some higher end talent that you hear being talked about around those that cover minor league baseball. They've got a bunch of dudes that are coming. And when you start talking about how do you build a dynasty or how do you stay competitive year in and year out for longer periods of time, in baseball, it's simple. A great farm system. And that's what sucks about the Dodgers. They have a huge payroll and a great farm system. The Brewers don't have the huge payroll, but the great farm system allows them to overcome losing guys and still being competitive. And I know, when are they going to win a World Series? I get it. Yeah, I'm frustrated and mad too. But this allows you to stay there every year and have that chance to do that, and allows me to get super excited for spring training because I cannot wait, because telling you, I am so excited. Mizorowski for a full season. I get Woodruff. I get Peralta. See if Priester can do it again this year. There's so many guys. And guys that aren't going to be in this rotation that are going to be at AAA that also could be in this rotation if they don't trade them. And again, the meetings winter meetings are going on right now, so maybe the Brewers will make a trade and get a bat finally. Don't know. If they get a bat to play third, you think I'm excited now? Woo! And Eugenio Suarez, where is he going?
You want him in Milwaukee still? Even though he got bullied?
Sure.
I would. Half the season?
I would. But last night, I was reading that the Cubs are pursuing heavily Eugenio Suarez to go to Chicago. Cubs are in on like every starting pitcher on the market. They're in on every third baseman on the market
every year.
Bryce Eldridge, you know who that is? Prospect for the Giants, first baseman. He's like 6'6", 6'7". Talk is he's available.
That'd be interesting.
He's available.
You know who else I've been hearing is available? And it wouldn't be a third baseman, it'd be a shortstop, but CJ Abrams could be a guy that I could fit in with the Brewers really well. A lot of people were talking about different trade proposals for that too. Washington Nationals shortstop.
I think I'd rather have Nato from the Nationals.
Or from the Angels.
Or the Angels, I mean, yeah.
I think personally,
20,
I'd rather have
25
CJ
home runs a
Abrams.
year, all that.
CJ Abrams is like a 15 home run a year with 25 plus stolen bases.
That's true.
That kind of fits the Brewers
the
a little
model.
more.
But this team needs a thumper. That's what they need. They don't need another guy that can steal 100 bags. They need somebody that can hit 25 to 30 home runs. At least that's what I think they need. All right, so there's the Brewers. Congratulations on the Brewers, Baseball America's Organization of the Year. Big Ten championship game over the weekend. Just going to be straight honest with you like I always have. I was rooting for Indiana so hard in that game. I wanted Indiana to win that game so much.
Do you think anybody but Ohio State fans were rooting for Ohio State? Because I think everybody seemed like they were rooting for Indiana.
I feel like there's some people that get rubbed the wrong way by Curt Cignetti, the head coach of Indiana. But just check this out here. I called up Indiana's records. How far back do you want me to go? How about 2002?
Yeah, I think that's good.
That's 23 years, right? Let's see. 2002. Big Ten conference records. That's what I'm doing. Not overall record, just Big Ten conference record. 1-7, 1-7, 1-7, 1-7, 3-5, 3-5, 1-7, 1-7, 1-7, 0-8, 2-6, 3-5, 1-7, 2-6, 4-5, 2-7, 2-7, 5-4. That was 2019 when they went to the Gator Bowl and lost. 2020, they went 6-1, went to the Outback Bowl and lost. That was with Herman as coach. And then after that, 0-9, 2-7, 1-8. They hire Cignetti. He goes 8-1 in conference last year, 9-0 in conference this year. Man, you aren't going to find many coaches in college football. They're going to have that immediate turnaround, literally immediate. They were 1-8 the year before he got there in the conference. They go 17-1 in Big Ten play in the 2 years he's been there.
Yeah, I'd pay him too. I'd pay him a lot of money too. After hearing that, I'd pay him everything he wants.
There's just no chance. He was 11-2 overall last year, 13-0 this year.
Are you a little worried that that could be the Badgers? We have to wait to find our Cignetti, go through this drought.
Fickle was supposed to be our Cignetti.
He was supposed to be.
But he wasn't coming off of what he's coming off of. I mean, the Badgers were in that program. Now, the way Fickle is going, we may be the
That's
Indiana.
what I'm saying. Are you a little worried?
Right. You may need a Cignetti to bail out Fickle to come in here and fix this dumpster fire that he's created. That may essentially be something at some point. But I'm happy for Indiana. I'm happy for Cignetti. I hope they win the whole damn thing. Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I would love it.
I wouldn't be mad at them winning. I like the college football playoff group this year. It feels like we got a lot of teams that aren't like the boring Boise States, but also you have squads that aren't normally, like Texas Tech being there, Miami. Like, it feels like it's kind of old school. It's fun.
I will never root for Miami ever. I know you're a Miami
Why
fan.
not?
There's just always an arrogance and a cockiness always associated with that program.
That's why I love it.
I cannot and will not ever root for those cats. How about Shedeur Sanders, everybody? Huh?
I played him on my dynasty team for the first time this week, and he was the only player on my team that did anything good. So I was happy about that.
What do you mean your dynasty team?
Like a dynasty league?
Dynasty league. Right.
Because I drafted him because I was like, why not? Let's see what happens. Basically like the Browns did.
Yeah, pretty much. And they got forced into drafting, I think, by Jimmy Haslam, who said enough is enough of this free for all. We're gonna go get him and see what happens at that point. Now, again, Shedeur Sanders is a guy that wasn't even the first quarterback taken by the Cleveland Browns. Dude, he threw for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, again, Tennessee, they lost because they pulled him out of the game on the 2-point conversion at the end. What are you doing, Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah, it was bad. It was just poorly coached. Like, he's somebody that I think the blame has to be put on him for a majority of what's happened this season. He has not been able to coach this offense to even like usable lengths until Shedeur Sanders gets in here, and you're still messing it up. Just insane.
Charlie and I were talking about Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders in that Cleveland community from the time he got drafted has been like at the Children's Hospital, has been doing stuff in the community with the different charities and functions, showing up to random youth basketball leagues and hanging out and watching kids play. He has been absolutely, now again, the speeding or whatever he had, fine. But outside of that, he's been great in that community. And it appears that community is in on his Shedeur Sanders as well. And there have been people asking for weeks leading up to him starting. Why isn't he getting any looks as starter, considering how bad everybody, including Dillon Gabriel, has looked at starting quarterback? Now you think back and go, well, damn, if they would have started Shedeur in week 1, how much different would this season be with that Browns defense?
Well, the problem is I think they don't want him to be too good, because next year, like we also talked about, they have to play Deshaun Watson if he's healthy. Like, they have to.
Deshaun Watson. All right, let's call this up here quick. I had it up and then I deleted it. Deshaun Watson's contract. For those of you remember Deshaun Watson, yeah, it's been a minute since we've seen Deshaun Watson play. God, last time we saw him, he was horrible. Deshaun Watson, okay, next year has a cap hit. A cap hit goes towards your cap number of $80.71 million as a cap hit. And I know, wow, I just cut him, Sparky. The dead cap number is $131.1 million.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If he can walk, he's playing next year because you have to.
No, he's not playing.
You can't.
No, he's staying home.
Can't afford to let that just sit on the bench.
You can sit at home in your mansion. Shedeur is playing all year. I know I have to cut half my roster to make this work, but you're not playing. There's no chance. And then he's a free agent after that. So 1 year sitting at home at $80 million, but look at all the cap room the Browns are going to have the following year once they rid themselves of Deshaun Watson's contract.
Probably just to re-sign Justin Fields.
Shut up.
Like a $80 million deal.
They'll be able to help Shedeur with some real talent then at that point. So you just got to survive next year. That'll do it for today. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live in Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Up next, Tommy Wirtz with the Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up. Have a good night, Wisconsin. Toodles.